New travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Jared Stillman.
This show, if you're a listener to it, I think is educated enough to know what a good general manager is.
And company.
At the end of the day, wins really are all that matters.
Tune in Stillman and Company for your drive home. Delivered by TriStar Moving. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Hey, if you want to win a pair of tickets to see Dierks Bentley at Bridgestone Arena, and I'm sure you do, this is how you do it. That's going to be on Friday, February 25th. All you have to do is head over to YouTube, subscribe to 102.5 The Game's YouTube page, and you'll automatically be entered for a chance to see that show. Once you subscribe, email us at promotions@cromwellmedia.com with your YouTube handle. A winner will be chosen on Monday. That's Monday, November 22nd. Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase. Good stuff there from Casey Alexander. Sean Salisbury coming up in about 20 minutes or so. By the way, a hearty congrats to Nashvilleian Robbie Ray for winning the AL Cy Young.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Brentwood Zone.
Brentwood Zone. That's right. In fact, I think Mookie told us that super team that they played on together back in the day when they were like, what, 11 or 12? Wasn't it?
No, it was
Mookie?
more. It was the high school age because
high school. How could it have been?
Yeah, because Robbie Ray didn't move here until I think he was in high school. I can't remember where he grew up, but Mookie and Tony Kemp both told us a story that all three of those guys were on the same.
Right. Team. That's where I was going with it. Those three were on the same team.
Yeah, summer league. Imagine that. I mean, you got it's a pretty heavy.
You said it was Robbie Ray, Mookie, and who?
Tony Kemp.
Oh wow.
Yeah. How about that on the same team?
That's pretty good.
That was a travel ball team, I think.
Yes, but they were high school age.
Really?
Huh.
I don't remember that.
Robbie Ray went to high school at Brentwood, but he did not grow up in the area.
Well, that's not what his wiki says. His wiki says he was born in Brentwood, Tennessee.
Born in Brentwood,
says
Tennessee.
He grew up in the Nashville area. I just looked it up just now because I was confused by that. I thought I was under the impression he grew up here. I mean, that's what his wiki says. But let me just tell you this, Willie. You can hold out hope because when we had Clark Lee on Tuesday, you weren't a part of that. Wiki is not always correct. Wiki was way off on his birthday and when he was born and how old he is. His Wikipedia page was completely wrong, and he set the record straight. How about that?
The internet is not always right.
It's not always. It does miss. I was under the impression he grew up here. And then when you said he didn't, I went and pulled up his wiki,
yeah, it does
and it says
say,
he grew up
here. It does
here.
say, you're right. It says born in Brentwood, Tennessee. But I was not – I thought Tony Kemp told us that he was not there. I could be completely wrong. But nonetheless, we do know that those three guys played together. And now you have – how about this? Mookie Betts, MVP.
By the way, he was set to go to Vandy too.
Oh, is he? Wow. He's another one that was the Vandy commit that ended up not going.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's fun to play the game of all these guys that have gone through Vandy, but it's even more fun to play the game of the ones that.
Well, it's not for
didn't.
Tim Corbin. Let me tell you that it's not fun for him.
It's okay. He's got two natties.
I know. I'm just saying though. Could you imagine though the guys who ended up going and taking the pro contract and going on to the pros and not going? Can you imagine? Whew, wow, man.
Speaking of Robbie Ray, I mean he's probably going to have a pretty good offseason when it comes to that.
Quite the story because
paycheck.
He kind of really tailed off right in Arizona, and when you think about it, his signing with Toronto was like there wasn't much. Many people weren't talking about it. It wasn't a big deal. Now he had success with Arizona, and then but it wasn't at the end. He tailed off, and it was like when he signed with Toronto, it was just like, yeah, okay.
It was a
right?
one-year deal because
Right.
he had an ERA of 6.6 the year before.
Yep.
It's the highest ERA anybody's ever had the season before they won the Cy Young. I was reading about that this morning.
It's a great story.
So a remarkable turnaround. So now you have Robbie Ray, R.A. Dickey, David Price, all Nashville ties, Cy Young winners, Mookie Betts MVP. The last 10, 12 years,
Yeah.
just amazing to think about the homegrown talent in our area.
That's pretty cool that Nashville's produced 3 Cy Young winners, or the Nashville area has produced 3 Cy Young winners.
And by the way, just for you lefties out there, Willie Donick, that's the second Cy Young for a lefty in this market. Right? I mean, how about that? 2 lefties winning the Cy Young that grew up in Nashville.
It's pretty neat. I'd like to see him go back to Toronto too. I think they're right there, with that roster.
Well, we know because I just put it out there, a couple days ago. Yesterday, they just gave Barrios the big contract.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what Robbie Ray's going to command now. I don't know how
I know
that's gonna work.
the Angels are going for it. The Angels are supposedly interested in him. So
The Angels are always going for it. The problem is it never works out for them. Like they're not afraid to pay. They're not afraid to go collect names and pay big contracts, but how much success have they had?
None.
Right. Like it's virtually led to no success at all.
I mean, they get Madden. Now they're trying to upgrade pitching.
Remember they gave them the gigantic contract to Anthony Rendon. I mean, they've got maybe the most fun guy in the league to watch. Ohtani, right?
Or Ohtani, and then they have Trout. Trout can't stay healthy.
So I don't know what Robbie Ray's going to command now. I mean, after coming off, a season that was not good and then winning the Cy Young, I don't know. What's the trust factor to give him? I don't know. Maybe, somebody's going to jump out there and pay monster money. I don't know.
Yeah, how about Verlander going back to the?
Yeah, I was going to say, how's Verlander in Atlanta jersey looking?
It was short-lived.
You got pretty excited pretty fast, didn't you?
I did. I was like, yeah, let's go. Sign me up.
By the way, who came in second in the Cy Young in the National League, Willie? Do you remember?
In the National League?
Yeah, this year. I don't.
Well, they haven't named the winner yet, have they?
Yes, they have.
Yeah, Corbin Burns.
Corbin Burns?
Oh, yeah. So I guess you don't know that Zach Wheeler was second.
Zach Wheeler was second. Yeah. No, well, that was the debate. I would have voted for Wheeler.
So when he leaves the Mets, he gets good. That's interesting. Huh.
Well, he had his last year with the Mets was really, really good, and the Mets he just priced himself out.
Yeah.
I know. Willie didn't see this, but Darren, did you see who was fourth?
No, I don't pay attention to who's fourth.
Walker Buehler.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
That was actually a very, very tough vote.
Yeah.
You had Julio Urias, who won 20 games, who wasn't even hardly on anybody's ballot.
He got
because
3 points.
of these other guys. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Corbin Burns, Zach Wheeler, Max Scherzer, Walker Buehler. For the top 4.
I honestly thought there was a real shot Scherzer gets it. I was a little surprised he finished third.
Burns had incredible stats. That's another guy that bounced back from a terrible year a couple years ago. He's really turned his career around, but he didn't throw as many innings as Scherzer or especially Wheeler. Wheeler was more of the workhorse. So it just depends on what you value now when you vote for the Cy Young. It's such a different thing. There was a day and age where if you won 20 games and you're Julio Urias, they would have just by that probably would have given it to him, or at least been real close. Now he's not even. They don't think that way anymore. The wins and losses so secondary.
Yeah, but congratulations to the Nashvilleian Robbie Ray. He ran away with it. I mean, he was the clear-cut winner. I think he had every first-place vote but one, or did
yeah,
I don't think he
had
swept.
He had one second-place vote.
He had one second-place vote. All the first-place votes went to him. So, I mean, he won in dominant fashion. So,
yeah, it was funny.
Good job by him.
He had 29 first-place votes, 1 second, and then Garrett Cole had the 1 first place and 29 second.
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
Looks like we've got some people that want to weigh in on Robbie Ray. We need to get him on the show.
We need to get the bio correct here because
So are you still doubting? Are you doubting Wiki?
No, I don't think so. We had him on a long time ago.
We did?
When he was first breaking in. Yeah, when he was first
that.
breaking into the league.
Okay.
It may have been when you were on the morning show.
Okay.
Darren,
I was going to say, because I don't remember being a part of that.
Yeah, we had him on, but I don't know him as well.
So if you go to MLB.com, his bio says born 10/1/91 in Brentwood, Tennessee.
In Brentwood, yeah, it does. It does.
Let's go to Jeff on our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hey, good morning, guys. I got a quick little factoid, tidbit, whatever you want to call it. I think you guys will get a kick out of. I have two nephews that played high school baseball with Mookie at Overton. And during 1 year, and I can't remember exactly what the year was, during 1 year, a single high school baseball district in this area had future MVP Mookie Betts, future Cy Young Award winner Robbie Ray, current major leaguer Tony Kemp, and former Yankees catcher Corbin Joseph. But the MVP of the district that year was my nephew, Connor Moore.
Wow.
Ooh.
With that group?
Nice.
Man, that's impressive. I would tell that story forever. That is impressive.
That's awesome.
What a group.
Wow.
Can you imagine
That's solid.
that team? That is, I'll tell you what, the Nashville, and I don't think it's really it's not underrated anymore. I think obviously people are catching on, but gosh, in the almost 25 years that I've been here, the talent pool of this market is just unbelievable for baseball. It is just
It's been fantastic.
So much. It is really, really cool to see.
And
wow,
it's
what a great
impressive.
story.
It's impressive because we're not a major league market too.
I know. Well, not yet.
Not yet, but we haven't been. So, but the fact that you get that kind of talent that comes out of here is pretty cool.
No doubt. Let's go to EJ, who wants to weigh in about Robbie Ray on our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Yeah, hey, guys, I just wanted to kind of give y'all an update on Robbie. He's actually my cousin.
Oh, wow.
And so,
okay. Now, this is the source.
So,
This is good.
EJ can confirm everything that we're trying to figure out. Okay, so let's start with the checklist.
Yeah, set us straight.
Did he grow up in Brentwood, Tennessee?
no, he grew up in Pleasant View, Tennessee.
Okay,
Went to Sycamore
Okay.
all the way until 6th grade, and then he transferred to Goodpasture for 3 years, and then did high school in Brentwood.
But he grew up in the area, so he did grow
grew
up
up in
here in
Pleasant
the
View,
area.
so yeah.
Okay.
And he was actually committed to Arkansas, not Vanderbilt.
Oh, he was? Really? I thought he was a Vanderbilt commit.
Yeah.
No, he was committed to Arkansas, and then when he got drafted, he was the highest paid player beyond, I believe, the 4th round, and he chose to go the minor league route rather than college. So.
Okay.
So Wiki is wrong in that area then.
Are you the same
didn't correct
age?
that.
Did you play ball with him, EJ?
I did. I'm 1 year older, but we grew up together. We played all the way up until middle school when he transferred to Goodpasture. So, yeah, I never would have thought it, but it's amazing.
Well, that's where I was going.
Did
you ever think at any point, he was going to have the career that he's had in the bigs?
Never would have thought, because we were always 1 year. I was older, so he never really pitched for us in my year because he was always the younger kid, and then he would pitch his next year. And it wasn't until high school. I mean, he shot up, grew. I think he's 6'3", 6'4", and then they started going to perfect game camps all over the place and just really working on pitching. And he quit basketball and everything else and just focused on baseball. And it just, worked out great for him.
So just to clarify, the high school years, that's when he would have been playing with Tony and Mookie?
That's correct. Yeah, and he actually played for
a travel
Team
ball
USA.
team, right?
Yeah, well, Team USA, and he played with Bryce Harper that year, and they both got drafted by the Nationals. So that was was a cool year as well.
Wow. What was the most dominant pitching performance you ever saw him have?
I only went to a couple of his high school games because, like I said, I was playing high school ball up here at Sycamore, so I didn't get to see him much. I've been to whenever he's played in Atlanta and a couple places traveled locally. But But I remember over at my grandparents' house, it was like after one summer, it's just like he went from throwing like 75 to 88. I mean, and I would catch with him out there in the yard, and the ball was just coming. So.
The ball was coming.
Over a summer, he shot up and just was throwing upper 80s. So.
Look, we're not afraid to negotiate or beg on this show. You know, Batman puts out the bat signal. So, EJ, we've put out the DDC signal because we want to get Robbie on the show to congratulate him. If you can help us with that, we can help you, if you know what I mean. We'll hook you up with some tickets to something really cool.
I will try.
All right, look, we'll tell you what, put him on hold. Elijah, you talk to EJ.
Get the number.
See what you can do behind the scenes. Okay, we have officially put the DDC signal out.
So I've done digging. So he decommitted from Vanderbilt and then committed to Arkansas.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I had somebody text me that same thing.
Okay.
So we're piecing together Robbie Ray, This Is Your Life. So that's where I was confused. He was born in Brentwood, but then I thought he had moved, and so he explained it. And then moved back to Brentwood for high school. So that's where I was getting the wires crossed there.
Secondly, so like he
said, still in the area. Yeah.
He was drafted by Washington and then traded to Detroit. Do you remember who the GM was for the Tigers that made the trade for him?
Lance Parrish.
No. But good
guess.
Dave Dombrowski.
I know.
That is correct.
I wanted to bring Lance. Where is Lance, by the way? We got to know him, and he was awesome.
That's a great question.
It's like, I know he went off to – is he still a manager in the minors?
I'm not sure.
It's a good question. We got to find Lance. We got one thing at a time. We got to find Robbie Ray. We got to find Lance Parrish. We got a lot on the agenda here. I'm in Montreal. I can't help you now.
It feels like Thanksgiving.
How's Olympic Stadium looking?
You know what, Chase? Seriously, I'm going to go over there. We're here for a couple days. I'm going to go
see if there's any Rays players over there practicing.
Well, that's a good question. That is talked about. That's another research project because they are really considering seriously splitting the season at some point between Tampa and Montreal. Can you imagine?
That's stupid.
It's insane.
It's dumb. Just one or the other.
I'm going to do this on the air with you guys. They've sent Maddox's entire class home, and he wants to watch Netflix, and he keeps drawing things on this erase board, yes or no. And so majority rules. What do you guys think? He's been okay. His grades have been good. He's had some conduct marks. It hasn't been great. We've had some talks, but okay, he's going back in the right direction. What do we think?
Can he watch Netflix?
Yeah, today.
So he's
home. He will not leave me alone. So I've got to give him an answer. Yes or no?
Well, has he been sent home for?
No, not for bad. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
I say yes.
I don't see a problem.
It's a crappy day outside.
Okay. Yeah, he can't go outside.
Can't go outside.
It's cold.
It's cold. Yeah.
The other option, Darren, is to have him write your top 10 for the
NFL. Wait. Could he pick for you for silly underdogs?
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that.
That's a possibility.
But first of all, I need to find out because there's a lot of quiet, secret. I've got a secret on silly underdog. So we need to see how this is going to play out today at noon because I have questions and I'm not getting any answers, and so I'm not going to commit to anything until I find out what shenanigans have been going on since I've been gone.
We have evidence to present and things to review. The commissioner wasn't here. We have the deputy commissioner that's ready to do that. So
Right, but I sent picks, so I don't even know what's in question. I have submitted my picks, so I don't know why we have all this swirling question marks and quietness.
You might have incriminated yourself in your Dr. Phil conversation.
You did. You totally did.
Wow. So I will not
I like that. Oh.
I will not commit to Maddox until I find out what's going on at noon.
Okay. I think that's fair.
That's fair. But as for Netflix,
so Chase, you're a yes.
I'm a yes.
You're a yes. Willie,
I think
he just literally did a Toyota commercial. Oh, what a feeling. Willie, your vote?
I think yes, but only if he gets to do your top 10.
Oh, come on. No, I don't know. You don't know what's going on either. You weren't there.
No, I'm talking about the top 10. I was there for the top 10.
Oh, the top 10.
He wasn't there for underdogs either. So.
Yeah, I've already done my top 10 though. I've already done my work.
Okay. Well, let him watch Netflix then.
So Willie's a yes?
Give it to him. I'm a yes.
Well, it doesn't matter what my vote is.
Elijah, are you a yes?
Oh, I'm always pro-fun, so the vote will go pro-fun. I say if you have Hulu, give them the option Netflix or Hulu.
Oh, that's good.
Give them any streaming service.
Yeah,
I stop at Netflix.
I knew Elijah was a yes. I wasn't even going to waste with that. I knew he was a yes. Okay, all right. Well, Maddox, the group has spoken, so I guess it's yes, man. He's gone.
Congratulations.
All right, we'll come back. We'll head down to Houston. We'll talk with Sean Salisbury. We'll do that next.
The voice of reason.
34 yards, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. You're not going to win a game that way.
The voice of the fan.
I'm tired of let's just give it to a quarterback.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Well, hello, Week 11 in the NFL season. Joe Ruxford here to let you know that FanDuel Sportsbook wants you to get the most out of every play, and that's why they're giving everyone a $10 risk-free bet every week. Thursday night, tonight, great opportunity to try it. All you got to do is bet a same-game parlay with 3 legs or more. If your bet doesn't win, FanDuel will pay you back up to $10. You got Patriots, Falcons. Look, I think the Falcons are going to make this a better game than a lot of people probably think. One thing I would definitely jump on is Matt Ryan over on the passing yards. I think that he's probably going to be coming back late, trying to make a late run. I also would go Patriots on the money line. You got to come up with the third leg on your own there, or do whatever you want to do. Just do it on America's #1 sports book. It's easy to use. Trust me on that. It's safe, and you get paid in as little as 2 hours. There's no feeling like nail in the same game parlay. Lock it in today. Get up $10 back if your bet doesn't win. And if you're new, sign up with promo code Joe102. You also get 30-1 enhanced odds on either team to win during the Sunday matchup between the Cards and Seahawks. You win $150 on a $5 bet. That's promo code Joe102 so they know I sent you. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. Refund issued is now drawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max refund $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbet.fanduel.com. Same game parlay available for multiple sports in all states on mobile and web. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 800-889-9789.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
These are battles, these are grinds. We don't panic, we don't freak out. That's how we're built. 1, 2, 3.
This is the Drive to the Playoffs, brought to you by Coleman Tractor on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
The Tennessee Titans have reeled off 5 straight wins against 5 playoff teams from last year. Coming up this Sunday, they play the Houston Texans, who are not a playoff quality team. They have won 1 game all season long and have dropped their last 8. Tennessee Titans head coach Mike Vrabel says that even though this team isn't high quality, it will be important to treat the Texans team like they are a playoff team.
I mean, I hope so. I hope that that's something that we've always preached, and I think that every week is different. Every week is a new challenge. They have so many new starters, new players. I think that when you talk about teams in your division, you tend to have a pretty good feel for who they are, what the personnel is, and that's new. That's new for us, just the way that the team is constructed. So we'll have to learn personnel. We'll have to learn some of the scheme is different. There's some carryover, obviously, with Tim. But it's going to be critical that we learn who these guys are, especially defensively. It's a different style of defense than what we're used to against the Texans.
I'm Elijah Campbell, and this is your Drive to the Playoffs update on ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Boys and Girls Clubs of Middle Tennessee ensures children and teens, especially those who need us most, are ready to read, ready for class, ready to graduate, ready for their career, and ready to serve the community. You can support local youth and their great futures by donating at bgcmt.org.
Love thy neighbor, like Neighbors Nashville. Founded and operated by former Titans standout Zach Piller, Neighbors Germantown and Neighbors Sylvan Park have been a fixture in the community for years and is open and ready to serve you in their legendary atmosphere. Sure to deliver a one-of-a-kind experience for everyone. Both locations are open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. and Saturdays and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 3 a.m. with happy hour specials weekdays from 3 to 7. Go check out Neighbors, the best sports entertainment bar in Nashville.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT-FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Second hour here on this Thursday. Rolling right along. Darren, Donick, and Chase. Darren McFarland, that's me, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. Let's talk a little Texans with our buddy Sean Salisbury, who's down in Houston. His show is on Sports Talk 790 down there. Does a great job, former quarterback. We always enjoy our chats with him. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing great, fellas. How are you?
Thanks for doing this as always.
No problem.
How close or was it to actually something happening before the trade deadline with Deshaun Watson?
Oh, I think that, insiders will tell you that it was imminent and it was going to happen before the deadline, but I don't think people were willing to take the risk for the price. So I don't think there was an offer on the table that said, "Hey, man, take this," and somebody backed out in the 11th hour. This wasn't an 11th hour deal. I think it was the speculation and constantly because of the wants that the Texans had and the panic, or should I say the people start to say, well, we're starting to worry about our team, and is it Carolina or is it Miami? If they were that desperate, they would have pulled it off. I think that they're just in a position, they say the risk didn't meet the reward under the circumstances because of the legal stuff. Obviously, if there was no legal, this would have been done a long time ago. But because of the legal and waiting and the fact that Deshaun still holds the power over who he gets traded to can limit teams, because there may be some he doesn't want to go to. But at some point he's going to have to take they're going to get the best offer, and he's either going to want to play football or not. So I don't think it was 11 hour. There's no doubt the teams, I know for a fact the teams sent legal people to Houston to do their due diligence and to find out where it was going. And there are some that believe that it's going to stay civil, but some not willing to take the risk. Civil meaning it's not going to be any criminal charges, but there are some that still question if there will be. So this will be an off-season deal. He'll be traded at some point, probably in March, and they'll go from there. But it wasn't one of those that it was about to happen, that it just somebody debunked it at the last second. I just think there was too much legal issue and too much risk for the big reward that he's going to offer on the field when he gets there. But right now they want 3 1s and 2 2s and another player, and they weren't willing to come off that as well. I'm sure somebody came in a little lower, but there was no deal imminent at the 11th hour.
Interesting. Do you think the position you played is going to have another gigantic shuffle again this offseason like it did two off seasons ago when Brady went to Tampa and Rivers went to Indianapolis? I mean, you know the shuffle. I don't need to tell you. Do you think we're in for that again? Do you think Russell Wilson, this marriage could end in Seattle, maybe Aaron Rodgers? Do you think we're going to see that again or no?
I think you're going to hear a lot of banter about it. I'm anxious to see and a couple of them, I'm anxious to see what Baker Mayfield's next step is, where he goes this last half of this season. Mentally and physically, his body and his mind, he's been beat up, and people are all over him, so there's that. You got to keep an eye on what goes on in Carolina. Is Cam long-term, short-term? Is there a trade involved? Is New Orleans happy fully with Jameis Winston in the future now that he's hurt? Were they pleased with his protection of the football, but they didn't really expand the offense like we thought they were going to before he got hurt, but he was doing a hell of a job? What's going to go on in Denver? Are they looking for a franchise? So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of movement. And then it gets down to the 3 big guys. And anytime you get the Rodgers, the Wilson, and the Deshaun Watson, one of them makes it a big off season. And then if there's more than one of them that is in that, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of banter about Russell Wilson. it'll still surprise me a little bit if Aaron Rodgers is on the move, because I think they're right now playing about as good as anybody, and their defense has stepped up, but maybe he wants to finish somewhere else. But there will be, from the time this season ends till draft and trade time, that March, April time, there's going to be a lot of talk. I don't know if there'll be as much movement, but there's going to be quite a bit of it because teams are going to get desperate. Miami and their situation, are they going to get involved? And if one moves, let's say Philadelphia, and they jump in the Watson and he approves the trade, well, then what the heck are you going to do if you're, with Jalen Hurts? And then you move him, and then the draft class isn't very good right now at the top this year. So a lot of these moving pieces. And if you're Atlanta, you got a lot of money to pay Matt Ryan? Is that somebody you're going to jump on, or do you try to jump in and trade? Garoppolo is going to be available. Mm-hmm. You don't draft a guy and trade 2 number ones for him. So yes, there's going to be movement with guys that are going to move, that are veterans and good players that are going to start somewhere else, and a superstar or two at the position.
I love to pick your brain on quarterbacks. Look, I joke about it on the show all the time. You're the reason that I keep drafting Kyler Murray every year in fantasy football.
There you go.
You brought up Baker Mayfield. And I've been saying, Sean, here lately on the show, because we do a top 10 rankings every week. We've been doing this on the show for a couple of years now. And when we talk about the Browns, I'm like, I don't know what Baker may, and I feel like we're experts in this market about whether guys are, franchise quarterbacks or not, and or certain guys are good enough, but you have to constantly prop them up. Mariota was that guy. You just have to constantly keep putting, receivers or tight ends or the offensive line. You're always doing something to try to help them. I feel like Baker Mayfield is that guy as well. Just he needs a lot of help. But I want to know what you think, because your eyes are better than mine when it comes to quarterbacks. Is he legit, or is he a guy that needs constant help?
I think it's a very extremely valid and a hell of a point that not enough people make. I guess I'll die on the hill. I don't want to, but I've been a Baker Mayfield supporter through this. I guess I like the walk-on mentality, even though he went from a walk-on to the first pick, the Heisman Trophy winner, first pick of the draft, so that kind of pushes that to the wayside now, and he's a star in the league and paid, wants to be paid like it. I think I'm leaning more towards your approach to that. I do. And at first I thought, well, man, this guy, first I do know he's changed culture thinking there in Cleveland, or at least he's been a part of it, because there's more swagger.
Yeah.
I go on a show in Cleveland every week. It is a very divided. You're not really a fence sitter in that city if you're for Baker Mayfield. There's people who either think he's just a guy and you want him out, or there's others who say, I stand with Baker, he's our guy. Here's the problem with Cleveland. Is you got to understand, if you're going to run him out, who you're replacing him with. Because you have had horrible quarterbacks for 2 decades. It's been awful. So you better be careful what you wish for. If you run him out of town and decide you don't want him, then where's your commitment? Are you going to try to trade for Deshaun Watson? So I am with you, though. There's a difference between the level of Rodgers, Watson, Wilson, those guys, Herbert, were guys, it appears, that can operate a team and dominate you with no matter what the personnel, that carry you and are MVPs no matter who you put in there. They make them better. Now, I do believe Baker Mayfield's made them better, but I also believe he needs Nick Chubb. I believe Jarvis Landry's important. I believe an offensive line. Yes, I don't believe Baker Mayfield is the guy that carries a team along. I believe Baker Mayfield's a really good fit when things are great and he's stacked. And I think he's good regardless. But if you want to, when I talk good, I mean franchise. I don't think that Baker Mayfield could waltz into Carolina or Detroit and make them great. I believe if you put Aaron Rodgers in Detroit and got him 3 players, they'd probably be in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Those kind of guys that they just need a guy that, a warm body said, play good football and I'll get you to certain places. And if we're going to win a Super Bowl, then I'm going to need better players. But yes, I would say that's fair. I would say there's a level. Baker's a level down from Allen and Murray. And so if you're asking me if Deshaun Watson or Kyler Murray would be in Cleveland, would they be better? Probably. And I'm a Mayfield supporter and have stood on the hill and yelled and screamed that we quit on the guy but we're in year 4 now. So it's time for him to elevate when they lose a guy or when a guy's gone. But you're right. I think everything's got to be pretty settled for Baker to be great and to get paid, but it's going to be an interesting off season if he's going to get paid that $30 million type dollars a year. I think the next 7 games is going to define that for him.
We're speaking with former quarterback Sean Salisbury, Sports Talk 790 down in Houston. Okay, back to your market. Because of the circumstances, this team is not good. Deshaun Watson, they don't have their franchise elite quarterback for the season. This team is going nowhere. Do people down there care, Sean? Are they showing up to games? Are you guys talking about them a lot? What's the care factor, the give a crap factor in Houston right now?
None. They'll be the diehard fans. They'll be the diehard fans, but you see empty stands. It is let me just put it to you this. I could go on my show, and I'm not judging it, but you get a pulse and you get a feel for it. We spent 3.5 hours talking about Justin Verlander today.
Wow.
3.5 hours.
Wow.
You know how many times the Texans got mentioned today? You know how many times?
Zero?
Yeah.
Wow. 4-hour show?
Well, 4-hour show, 6 to 10 in the morning. Not once. Not one call. We didn't ask. It was all Correa, where's he going to end up, Verlander, and other topics and stuff. But, no, it's not. And when you bring it up, you can only say so many times, Sal, well, they're doing this wrong, and they're doing this wrong, and they're not a good football team. And you try to spin it 8 million ways. There isn't any because they don't trust the front office. They don't have the quarterback. It's the same thing every week. You could run the press conference on a loop of the loop that constantly goes loop after loop that says, we didn't coach well. We got to coach them better. We got to be better. We got to stop turning the ball over. And David Culley's a good man, but David Culley, like a rookie quarterback right now, has been in over his head as a head coach. Really good assistant, well-respected, and I love him as a human being. But he's not – he's got work to do. And this franchise, they just don't have good players. And now they may hang in there. Tyrod may keep him in this game this week for a minute, but they can't sustain it. And they make the same mistakes each week. They're not the smartest. I mean, they make a lot of low IQ football decisions. They're rarely on the same page, 11 guys. So the buzz in town, if they start winning, they'll be back. But there's probably, I can't fathom there's less buzz. And this is Texas now. I can't fathom there's less buzz in any city, and I'm including Detroit, Jacksonville, anywhere else in the league than they got here.
Wow. Sean Salisbury is with us. So, Sean, let's flip it. Your perspective on the Titans. We're sitting here, in our listening area, riding high at 8-2. Yet, nationally, there's a little hesitancy because the stats aren't so dominating that you're like, hey, this is hands down the best team. They just keep beating these good teams. But what's your thought as they move forward here and they're piecing it together without Derrick Henry?
I think it's a phenomenal story. And I think I think that Mike Vrabel is the coach of the year in the AFC for sure. And it's not just because of the record, but they lose. Julio's been banged up. They lose Arthur Smith. Downing comes in. We all say, well, man, the combination of Tannehill and Derrick Henry, great play action. Well, you lose the best running back in football. And Tannehill continues to be efficient enough. The defense is ramped up. They're better in the red zone. They're getting after it. Out there they're beating good teams. This isn't fake. Now, the question that everybody has is, well, can they sustain it without Derrick in December and January? Well, until they prove to me they can't, then I say they can't. They're a smart football team, and they're making the plays when necessary. The defense stepping it up is huge. Because good teams always find a way, instead of make the excuse that the guy's out of the building, meaning Derrick Henry's hurt, they do everything they can to say, what an opportunity for us to prove that we're still really good. So while everybody's chattering, well, they can't continue this, they keep knocking people down. They keep knocking pins down. I love the football team. I think they're resilient. I think they're friggin' well coached. I think that they believe that they're good without having to chatter about it. I think they're getting after it defensively. I like the way they're playing, man. I think they're probably going to have to ramp up the run game and continue to do it. But as long as they can use screens and mix in stuff and the ball's not held, you're not turning it over. They don't need to throw 35 times a game, and they don't need to have those big moments. And they're going to have to get into a shootout at some point. We know that. And then we'll test it. But I have zero reason to believe, other than Derrick Henry being out, that this team's not real. Some teams will make excuses when their players go out and say, yeah, but – this team's making it the other way. Well, he's out, but we're going to find a way to continue this and hope he gets back at the end of the season. I'm fascinated with him, and I don't know why people are reluctant to consider them. Like people still talk Buffalo, and I understand because they're flashier. Maybe that's another way to put it. There's nothing real flashy about them, and there just isn't. They're hardcore, knock you in the mouth. make plays when necessary. They've got a quarterback that continues to be underrated in this league, that people want to say, well, without Derrick Henry, Tannehill's going to fall off. Well, they keep winning. And as far as I can remember, and as long as I've been playing, this dude, winning has always been the number one priority. So you can show me all the stats you want and empty statistics. I'll take a guy that wins, and I'm curious to see when it gets into December and January how they do. I have no reason to believe this is fake. The sustaining part of it, we'll see, but they're on a hell of a run, and teams better take notice.
Sean, one thing we talk about a lot is how you try to manage some of these injuries. They've had their share. I think they're on pace to have a record number of players play. I think the record is 84, and they're already at 82, and you've got 17 games. They haven't had their bye week yet. But let's just take a couple examples. I'm going to throw them at you with Bud Dupree and Julio Jones, guys who have been trying to fight through stuff all year. There's more of them as well. But what does your instinct tell you? Is it better to do what they did with Julio Jones, shut him down on IR, hopefully he can come back in a few weeks, or try to fight through it week to week when you're not 100%? How do you try to manage this?
I think that's a hell of a question, man, because we all have that. The old school mentality is, hey, can't make the club in the tub, need you to fight. There's a difference, and this is true, between being hurt and being injured. Everybody's hurt. Tannehill don't feel, they'll tell you, oh, I feel good this week. Everybody's beat up. Just when you start to feel a little bit better, you play again. Right? So, running backs from day one, once the first day of the season starts, when are they healthy? They're not, right? So it is, I'll tell you, which you do hope, okay, let's say you go into one and this guy's going to fight through a game. And then somebody steps up and plays and you win a game and you say, damn, are we better with that guy at 100% or as close to 100% as can be, or running Julio out there at 72%? Now, listen, that's why scouting and front offices and coaches' decisions and developing players is so important, because the teams with attrition and injuries that have the gap is closed from the ceiling to the floor, closer to the middle between their backup and starter, give you we can't take that middle class guy for granted. It can't just always be the rich guy, and I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about your stars. As Jerry Burns in Minnesota, he used to call them the big knockers when we played. The big knock, the doorbell knocker. The big knockers, the $1 million guys. You got to play great. But if you can have that next guy that says, okay, we can survive for a month without the big knockers, without the big bangers doing their thing, Julio or Bud Dupree or that, then I think you roll it. I personally, if we can survive it, and I'm a resilient, well-coached, disciplined team, I would, as knowing where I am now, I would prefer to set them down for a second and let them get right and as close as I can. And then when you're desperate, but I also don't want to put the future in danger. And most players think in the present. Most do. Some may think down the road. But if you're hurt, I expect you to play. I do. Got a broken finger on your left ring finger. You can tape it up. If you're a corner, let's tape it up and let's go play. If you're injured and you had a compound fracture of your thumb and you can't grip it and you're a quarterback, I can't play you. So there is a difference, and, obviously threshold of pain. You got to be smart, but the depth of a team and the backups and what they're learning while they're not playing and watching is important. I usually lean towards, if you are a guy who is
Oh, no. He got zapped.
Whoops.
We'll try and get him.
He was on a roll, too.
He was.
It's a really tough dilemma. You can tell him from the player's perspective, that he's seen it done both ways, right? You see people battle through, and you see people that benefit from sitting out and resting. It's because you have that next challenge coming up, and even though the Texans are 1-8, and they don't look like they're going to beat anybody, we've seen in this league
you got to play the games.
Stuff happen. Yeah, you got to play.
And how many times did we hear Barry Trotz over the years? Are you hurt or are you injured?
Yes. He used to say, I wonder if he was talking to Barry Trotz once upon a time. That's exactly. Same line.
I will always think of Barry Trotz when I hear that. Are you hurt or are you injured? And there is a difference between the two.
As will I.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah, you know that firsthand.
And I was injured.
Darren was injured.
I think we have him back. We do. Sean Salisbury's back.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but regardless, just so at the end of the season, you get a little luxury, right, guys? You say, okay, we can sit you for 2 weeks or IR you because we've created a position that we are a playoff team battling for, home field advantage and want to win this division. We're still a ways away from that. But you lose early and you're in a chase mode, like if you're the 49ers or you're the Seahawks. Now you say, well, our guy's at 80%, but we can't afford to sit him, right? So I'm more of create it so you have that luxury. And the Titans are doing that right now. But you know what, guys? Like I said, I don't think this is Memorex. I think this is live. Those of you remember those old commercials, is it live or is it Memorex? I don't think this is faked by the Tennessee Titans. I love this team. And you guys know I come on with you all the time. There's a toughness about them that we just don't give them enough credit for. They fixed that defense, and they're headed in the right direction. This is going to be one hell of a run down the stretch.
We're talking to Sean Salisbury, and back to Tannehill for a second, because I have, we've talked about him before, and I know you've been high on him, and I've always said that I think he's capable of winning a Super Bowl with the right pieces around him. You're not expecting him to be Rodgers or Brady or one of these elite guys, but how much do you think he's missed having the true pass-catching tight end, losing Jonnu Smith in the offseason to the Patriots? That's been a position that they have filled, but it hasn't quite been what it has been in the past.
When Jonnu left, I promise you, I said on my show we were talking about, because in the South and in the AFC South, and I said that's going to be a heavy loss, man. As a quarterback, we have certain in vogue positions, guys. Like we love that hybrid edge rusher, right? I can put him left, I can put him right, I can stick him, guys that can move around. That if your best player's there, then I'll move mine over here. That they're so valuable. I believe the tight end nowadays, look at Pitts, what he's going to do for Atlanta over the years, guys. Look we've been doing it from Gates. This has gone for a long time where I can flex you out, I stick you in the slot. I can even run toss sweep with you in the backfield if I have to. All these things, I believe it's the biggest mismatch problem in the NFL is that position, tight end. I do. I can create so much trouble for you if I got one. If I got two, you're hosed. If you give me a third one that's decent, then I'm going to destroy you. And the Buccaneers, when they're all healthy, have those abilities. They got three when they're healthy, three of them. So it's such a, you go big, I'm too fast for you at tight end. You go small, then I'm too physical for you, and I'll just run the ball down your throat. I think Jonnu Smith is a big loss, because we all have a crutch, and most quarterbacks will tell you that crutch, if you got a good one, that's the guy you lean on. He'll win, whether it's George Kittle or whether it's Kelsey. It's a lean, and you almost get to the point where you lock in because you just know you're so used to winning. I do, and I think that's going to become guys, I don't want to know if it's an issue, but I think it's going to become a little bit eye-popping as we head towards the postseason. That guy is in cold weather and just a comfort zone and a crutch even when you don't use him, especially if he can block and run option routes and get down the middle and stretch the field and on the pump seam and all those things that we do. I do, and I think it's an underrated loss. And so Tannehill's not Rodgers, but I'm going to tell you something, man. See, here's what we want in the league. We want everybody to be Mahomes, and everybody's not Mahomes, right? You're not throwing for 5,050 touchdowns every year, but you win and you're efficient and you have spectacular days. And Tannehill has gotten to the point now where the confidence is no longer, well, what are we going to get from the guy from Miami? He belongs and he knows it. But I'm sure he'd tell you, even though he's on the team running and he believes in the guys he's got, let's be honest, Jonnu Smith was when healthy, a hell of a talent and a good player and can win and run after the catch. That position, you watch as we head down towards the playoffs and the Super Bowl, the team that's got a sufficient amount and a efficient amount and some dominant players at that position that are in the hunt are going to last, because that mismatch is so much. And Jonnu Smith can create that. And take a look at New England. They're getting better all the time. Their football team's getting better, and the production would even be better if you had him. It'd be nice, but you don't. So I would imagine the next step for them as they move forward is find another dominant one. I'm a huge tight end loving guy. I think it's the most valuable mismatch problem outside the quarterback on the offense.
Interesting. Sean, always enjoy the visits. Thanks so much for doing this. Keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you down the road.
You guys are awesome. Honored to be on. Be easy on them this weekend, guys. Be easy on them, okay?
Mike Vrabel just cringed when he heard you say that.
Yeah, Vrabel was like, be easy, Sean. You're out of your damn mind. All right, man. I'll talk to you guys.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
He's Sean Salisbury, former quarterback. Always good stuff from him. Sports Talk 790. He does a morning show down there in Houston. We'll come back and do our top 10. How much did it change from one week to the next? We'll find out on the other side. But first, I want to talk to you about my friends at Cool Springs MD. Been going there for years. Michelle, Dr. Jeffrey Lodge, Daphne, and that experienced staff have been taking really good care of me. They've improved my quality of life. They've helped me become healthier and happier. And as we age, that gets tougher. And you know what? But that's a good thing. You want to be healthy and you want to be happy. And that's what's going on with me. Maybe right now you've tacked on some unwanted pounds, which tends to happen as we're adults. And you know what? They've got programs and products and people that can take care of that right away. They can get you back on track, headed in the right direction ASAP. Rejuvenation, your appearance is important, and that too is difficult as we age. Well, their staff can sit down and talk with you about PRP, hair removal, Botox, and finally hormone therapy. Have you ever had your levels checked? Do you realize as you age, they drop? Sometimes they drop to an all-time low, which could affect your drive, could affect your energy. It can affect your mood, and maybe you've been feeling off lately, but you don't know why. Well, you can go in and discuss BHRT, testosterone, estrogen with them. They do it all, and they do it all under one roof there in Cool Springs at 1642 Westgate Circle. If you want to learn everything about them, just go to their website, coolspringsmd.com, or you can always pick up the phone and schedule an appointment or a consultation by dialing this number, 615-283-7291. That's 283-7291.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3. Titans.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Whether you're driving for distance, pitching for precision, or putting to win it all, come to Edwin Watts Golf Shop to get custom fit for all your clubs throughout your bag. Hit a few balls and let our team show you the latest swing technology and data that will help optimize your game. Having each club tailored to become your gamers will help you start shooting lower scores. Let Edwin Watts Golf Shops help you make every shot the perfect one. Come in and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, Craneworks. The Craneworks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give Craneworks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth moving equipment. Call Craneworks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early. Get the first pick and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
Mark Howard here to tell you about my friends at Apple Collision Centers. We all know being in a collision is not fun. Neither is all the stress that comes with it, and that's where Apple Collision comes in. Let them take care of everything for you. That's insurance, repair, and your rental details. They've got 3 convenient locations in Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin. Their managers, Tommy Rippey, Daniel Neville, and Chris Brooks and Marty Denson, combined for over 75 years experience. So stop in today and tell them Mark sent you. Online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Friday night.
The 3-ball, yes, sir!
The MTSU Blue Raiders continue non-conference action on the hardwood when they host Stephen F. Austin in the Borough. Coverage begins at 6:30
on ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
Hey, Nashville, Trey Wingo here. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Got a good gift idea for you, or just selfish purposes for you. It's a good idea no matter what. Go to theGameNashville.com/deals to check out Nashville's best deals. The deal this week is a $30 gift card for only $15 to Brooklyn Bowl. Haven't been there yet, but hear really, really good things about it. Whether you're craving comfort food or fueling up for bowling or a concert, Brooklyn Bowl Nashville has you covered with tasty dishes including fried chicken, flatbread pizza, ribs, jumbo sandwiches, plus a variety of vegetarian and vegan options. The new venue holds 19 state-of-the-art lanes with food and beverage service and comfy leather seating for you and your crew. All you have to do is go to theGameNashville.com/steals to take advantage of that while supplies last. Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase, our show is presented by Creation CBD. Creation CBD products curated for life. All right, good stuff there from Sean Salisbury. As always, we knew that was going to be the case. The Texans just stink. I'll tell you what, that was pretty alarming when he said, you know, he does a 4-hour show, and he did a 4-hour morning show, drive time, in Houston, which is a top 5 market. Zero talk about the Texans. Zero.
It's crazy.
Nobody. All Astros. All Astros.
We've kind of been there when the Titans were at their low point. You know, I think they were probably a few days where that happened. Now, of course, down there,
they're a 4-sport town, so that it does kind of put
that in
perspective.
A little easier when you have NBA and you got
Correct.
the Astros off-season deals. Yeah.
Yep. Right. You had a team that went to the World Series. You've got the NBA in season. So, yeah, I mean, they're a 4-sport town. So that is a little bit different, but still, I mean, it is
they're
the
a 4-sport town?
Well, I mean, you can't. They
include
MLS
soccer
or soccer too.
Yeah, true.
I'm just the big four, and they don't have a NASCAR race. I'm just trying.
They don't have hockey.
They don't have hockey.
They don't have hockey. Sorry, you're right. They don't have hockey, which I've always wondered why. Why doesn't a market that size have? And
they've tried.
I know, but it's like never really seems like it's ever been close, right?
They had the Arrows, the AHL team, for a while.
Yep, they did. But
which
I believe you would think they're a top 5 market that, you know, there would be more chatter about the NHL trying to get their tentacles into that market.
And then you're right, they have the Houston Dynamo FC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see them being an NHL market. I mean, if things don't work out in Phoenix, right, that could be a very easy move.
What is the latest? Are they going to build an arena somewhere else?
Yeah, they're going to put a sheet of ice down at the Phoenix Raceway and just see if that works. Play there.
Okay.
Not really, but.
What's that place hold? You were just there.
That's a good question. It was packed, but
what is packed?
Well,
is it 50? Is it?
Let me look.
40, 50,
I honestly
60?
have no idea. 42.
Okay. 42. Okay.
So
that might be a little bit big for the Coyotes.
A little bit.
Just saying. By the way, did you guys realize Desmond Keene is the secondary for the Texans?
Yes, I did. I did see that. Danny Amendola. I was like, I thought he was out of the league.
Nope. Sometimes when you think guys are out of the league, just go to some bad teams because they need players, and sometimes you'll find them there. All right, you ready for our top 10?
I'm ready.
Okay. Last week, I had Arizona number 1. Willie had Arizona number 1. Chase had Arizona number 1. Consensus number 1, the Arizona Cardinals. I suspect that will not be the case today. In fact, I'll get you started and tell you, or get things started and say Arizona's not number 1 on my list. Willie, this is for you and all the diehard cheeseheads out there. So you're on one side and the diehard cheeseheads are on the other. Green Bay is my number 1 team currently in the NFL. They just shut out Seattle. No one has ever shut out Russell Wilson in his NFL career. No one. And the Packers just did it. And yes, Russell Wilson was under center. And the defense that I keep getting told is shaky and not very good is the top 3 defense in the NFL. So you have Aaron Rodgers back, and you have Devontae Adams and a running game. By the way, Aaron Jones went down. Austin Dillon stepped up. He had 2 touchdowns. The Green Bay Packers, fellas, are the number 1 team in the league, according to me, going into Week 11. Willie, who do you have?
I have the Dallas Cowboys at number 1.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay, so Dallas was 6 last week for you, and
Yeah,
they vault to number 1.
Yeah, obviously there was a lot of shakeup last week, some really weird games. I'm looking at the stats for Dallas. They're really, really impressive. And had they not goofed a couple weeks ago, I just see a team that is going to be a really, really tough team to beat when the playoffs come. As long as Dak is okay, stays healthy, they just have a lot of things to contend with. They have fixed their defense, and the offense with Dak is we know what it is. So I go Dallas number 1 right now.
Just continuing to hate on Green Bay. Okay, Chase.
Well, I love this. We have 3 different number 1s.
Oh, you don't have Dallas number 1?
I don't.
Wow.
I don't have Dallas number 1. I have the team that has won 6 in a row, the Tennessee Titans.
Number 1.
I thought about Green Bay, thought long and hard about Green Bay. There was certainly an argument, but with what the Titans have been doing, especially the last few weeks without Derrick Henry, and as we talked about on Monday, a win is a win. And as Floyd always says, did we win? Yep, that's all that matters. They won. It wasn't pretty, but they won, and they beat New Orleans, and they have won 6 in a row, like I said, and some big wins in there. What they did on Sunday night against the Rams deserves a lot of praise. So 8-2, number 1 seed in the AFC, 6 in a row. Give me the Titans number 1.
Okay. I had the Titans number 2 last week. I have the Titans number 2 this week. I know they've won 6 in a row. I know they just beat the Saints, and I'm not punishing them. I'm going to keep them at 2, and we'll see. I mean, I don't know how much, Green Bay is – who's Green Bay have this week? They're at Minnesota, I believe. So you never know what could happen there. But, I have the Titans 2. Willie, who do you have 2?
I have the Titans number 2. That's the highest I've had them.
You had them 3 last week.
They keep moving up. They keep getting the job done. The only reason I don't have them at number 1 really is I just can't ignore the stats. They are winning the games, and it's impressive with all that they've had to deal with, how they're doing it. But when you're talking about having it all and being number 1, they don't have to be number 1 in Week 11. But I just see a team that's got to keep improving. They've got to get a little healthier if they're going to win the whole thing. But, I mean, it's unbelievable what they've done. So I've got them number 2, and I consider them for number 1.
Me too. Okay. Chase, who do you have number 2? Dallas. Oh, he's got him. I guess he's got the Titans and Cowboys.
Nope. The Green Bay Packers are number 2. I told you. I kind of debated between the Packers and the Titans for number 1. It's very, very close, but Green Bay, you are correct that defense impresses. The offense obviously impresses. You saw what the future looks like without Aaron Rodgers. Does not look good, but that's a pretty good football team. They are 2nd on my list.
Okay. Who do you have 3rd?
That's where you will find the Dallas Cowboys. I moved them up from 5th last week into the top 3. They just showed that the Denver thing was a bad week, and that offense got going again. What they're doing on defense with some of the injuries that they have is very impressive. Tim talked about them. I think that's a really good football team, and they finally have something together, something to put together.
Okay, Willie, 3 for you.
I've got to go with the Packers, number 3.
Oh, my God.
There they are.
Oh, my goodness. Hit the breaking news sounder. Wow. Willie.
Look, their
Donick
defense keeps getting
Green
better.
Bay number 3.
They keep winning the games. I can't deny them anymore. Look, with the shakeup that happened with some of the teams I had above them having bad losses, you can't ignore.
Do you feel like you got bullied into that pick? I mean, you've been taking a lot of heat.
happened very naturally.
From the listeners,
very naturally.
From colleagues, here at the station, from us. Do you feel like you kind of got bullied into that pick a little bit?
No, I don't believe so. I think it was very natural.
Did Robbie Stanley roll your house?
Not that I know. Now, I haven't been home that much. So I can't verify if
I
that's
think you would
happened
have
in the
gotten
last
word.
48 hours.
I think
I have people there that would have probably told me.
Yeah, it would have made its way to Canada.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah. So I don't believe that's the case.
Did your house get rolled? Says Chase McCabe.
By Robbie
Stanley. It's the last time somebody rolled a house.
I don't know if kids really do that much.
I was going to say, do they do that anymore?
It takes effort, so they're probably like, meh. Sit on the couch.
It takes effort. They'd have to put their phone down.
Exactly.
So,
is there an app for that? I rolled your virtual house on my iPhone.
Is there a roll your house app?
Take that, jerk.
I had Dallas 3. I had Dallas 6 last week. Obviously an impressive beat down of the Falcons this week and all the shakeup around the league. I moved Dallas back up. They're a contender. There's no doubt about it. Their defense is really good. If they can get everybody back on defense, they're going to be really scary. Dak is having a phenomenal year. But they're close to a complete team. I mean, nobody's perfect, but I think Green Bay, and the Titans, and Dallas. I mean, a lot of these teams. I think I wouldn't be surprised if any of them won the Super Bowl, even though the Cowboys haven't been in the Super Bowl in 25 years. But
it's not important.
95, right?
Yeah.
26 years.
Yeah.
26 years. So, but now I have Dallas 3. I've got Arizona 4. So Arizona obviously losing at home to Carolina. No Kyler Murray. Even Colt McCoy went down. I don't even know who the guy is that came in and played quarterback after him. I'd never heard of him. So they lost to Carolina at home. So naturally they're going to fall. So Arizona goes from 1 to 4. They're still a very good team, but you lose at home to Carolina. I get it, albeit no Kyler Murray, but I've got Arizona at 4. Willie, who do you have at 4?
I am very bullish on the Bills, so I have them back at number 4. I think they're getting right. I think they're going to keep winning games. I do think they will hold off the run for the Patriots, and they will still clearly be the AFC East champion. So I'm going Bills.
You mean you've never heard of Chris Streveler?
Who?
Chris Streveler from South Dakota?
I have not. Nope.
Good, because I haven't either.
Can't say that I have.
Cardinals dropped to 4 for me. A lot of the reasons you just named. I want to see what it looks like again once you get everybody back and healthy and things get moving along. But still have them in the top 5.
All right, who do you have at 5?
That's where I put the Bills. The 5th on was very difficult for me. But
it was for me too.
I moved the Bills up to 5. I had them at 8 last week after their loss, but they rebounded, and so I put them back there. I still think it's a good team. I mean, they are going to be in the mix before it's all said and done. I do agree with Willie that I think they win the division. Now, I do believe the Patriots, as we'll talk about in a few minutes, are pretty good, but I think the Bills still win that division.
All right, Willie, who do you have at 5?
At 5, I have Arizona. It's just a matter of how far do you want Arizona to fall. We all had them number 1. It's kind of like, wow, what's happening there? But we know why, and it's not going to be like that forever. Arizona, in Football Outsiders, still has the number 2 defense. Forget about not having Kyler Murray. So I still think they're strong, but I had to move them down, so I put them at 5.
I've got Tampa at 5. Obviously, they've lost 2 in a row. Haven't looked great. Tom Brady hasn't looked good. The defense has not looked good. So they've gone now 3 weeks without a win because they had a bye week sandwiched in between there. So I still think Tampa. Antonio Brown's been out. His foot's been in a boot. I think he's getting close to coming back. If they can get Gronk back, look, Tampa's still going to be a force, but you got to move them down. You lose to Washington. So the Bucks, I've got the Bucks at 5. Right, we'll come back, reveal 6 through 10 to close that hour number 2. We'll do that on the other side as you listen to Darren, Donick, and Chase. ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Hi, I'm Jussi Saros, and this is Smashville.
Stopped by Saros, hook checked away, and taken now by Mikhail Gronlund.
You're listening to the flagship of the Nashville Predators radio network, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Passing showers this morning will lead to an overall cooler day with highs only working their way up into the upper 40s and lower 50s under clearing skies this afternoon.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Celebrate Thanksgiving with Social Furniture and save up to 70% off all furniture. They have sofas, sectionals with chase lounge, and recliners that are all push-button electric and wall away. They have all colors to choose from for your comfort watching any hockey game. All of them are plus leather, microfiber, and Chanel's. They have same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? Well, don't do it. Resolve right now to get yourself moving again for 2022. Willie Donick here. It's time to call the folks at QC Kinetics. Non-surgical, regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, and no downtime. This is really exciting stuff. Regenerative, restorative treatments that actually encourage your body to heal itself using highly concentrated natural biologics. Patients rave about it for hip pain relief, knee pain relief, shoulder and back pain relief. Don't let them give you the steroids. Don't let them tell you your surgery is the only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics and do it now. And imagine life in 2022 without pain. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024 for QC Kinetics.
Your home value is way up. Why not use it to make your home even nicer with a new kitchen or bathroom? Hey, Willie here. So many of our listeners are doing this with Loan Pronto, thanks to their zero-cost cash-out refi program. Call Loan Pronto now. They're fast-tracking home refis for the year-end, and people are getting checks for $60, $70, $100,000 or more. It's fast and easy. It's your money, money you can use to add even more value to your home. Imagine 2022 with that all-new luxurious kitchen you've been dreaming about, or start building that pool so it's going to be ready for the summer. Call Loan Pronto now. See how easy it is to use the equity in your home and walk away with the big check. They can even pay your closing costs, and you can skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Their service and parts team will get your work site up and running in no time. Parman Tractor and Equipment will come to you for service if needed. Visit ParmanTractor.com for more info. Your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Robbie Stanley.
That size and that speed just doesn't grow on trees. That could be something that you could really turn into.
Joe Rexrode.
Just hold out and somebody will call in the bad signal.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Silly underdog picks coming up at high noon right now. Be lucky, caller 5. It pays to listen to Darren, Donick, and Chase every day because you never know when you have a chance to win tickets. 2 tickets to see Three Dog Night at the Ryman Auditorium on November 24th. That's next Wednesday. Be caller 5 to our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. Good luck, and thanks for listening. All right, 6 through 10. I'll start things off. Buffalo, I had them at 9 last week. They get a nice win. So I'm going to go on and push Buffalo up to 6. I considered them at 5, but if I was just being honest, today, even though Tampa's dropped 2 in a row, if Tampa and Buffalo right now play today, I would still give the edge to Tampa. I would take Tampa in that game. So I took Tampa at 5. I have Buffalo at 6. Willie, who do you have at 6?
I have Tampa at 6. It was close between Arizona and Tampa. Both are going through the same things, a slump. These are good teams that are going through a tough patch, but you got to have them in there. So Tampa at 6.
Chase.
I too have Tampa at 6. I think they'll get it figured out. They'll be dangerous once again, just like they were last year.
Okay. You want to start 7?
Yep. I go with Tom Brady's former team at 7, the New England Patriots. Whoa. Yes, sir. Patriots move up from 9 to 7 with me. They've won 4 in a row. I'm very impressed by them, and we've been saying it that on this show that hey, that's a pretty good team right now. I think it's going to be the toughest test remaining for the Titans here in a couple of weeks, but I like the football they're playing right now.
Okay, Willie, 7.
Same category, Rams. I don't know what's going on. They look terrible the last couple of weeks. I still think that there's enough there. As Elijah likes to call him, Bobby Trees being out, it's disrupted their offense, and it's gonna, obviously he's gone for the season now, Robert Woods. So they've got to get right, and they got issues right now, but that's still a really, really talented roster. They're all in for this year. They're still holding at number 7, but they've slipped.
Yeah, I too have the LA Rams at number 7. They were at number 1 in week 9 for me. They slid down to number 5 after losing to the Titans, and now they'll slide down to number 7 after losing to the 49ers. They've been dominated 2 weeks in a row on national stage. They're still very good. I see no way I could have them any lower than 7 in this poll. They're still a really good team. It is going to be interesting to see how they adjust after losing Robert Woods. Will Odell Beckham be a factor at all? But they've picked up Von Miller, and so they're still a really good team. Matthew Stafford hasn't looked good the last couple of weeks. He's taken some heat for that, so we'll see if he gets better. His wife is throwing soft pretzels in the stands at people who are booing her husband, so they'll probably have a talk with her and fix that. So they'll be motivated, but right now I have the Rams at 7. I've got the team that I have not had in my top 10 at all. This is the 4th week we've been doing this season. I have been reluctant on putting the Patriots in there. They've been beating up on some bad teams, but they're starting to look really good, and they continued to win. That was an impressive win. I mean, they just absolutely took the Browns out to the woodshed and beat them up bad. It was embarrassingly bad. So I've got New England at number 8. So first time in my top 10, and they crack it at number 8. I had the Steelers number 8 last week. You don't tie the Lions and stay at 8. So, Willie, who do you have at 8?
At 8, mark me down. I am going with the Chiefs are back mantra here. I'm going Chiefs at 8. They're just too talented, too good of a track record to ignore them any longer. They're starting to play better. I think they're number 8 and have a potential to move up.
Okay. Chase, do 8 and 9.
For me, I have the Rams, so we basically swap 7 and 8. So I dropped the Rams down to 8. For 9, I dropped the Baltimore Ravens from 6 down to 9. Still a little worried about Baltimore, but still have them in the top 10.
Okay, so Ravens at 9. Willie, who do you have at 9?
I have the Patriots at 9, moving up from 10. I've had the Patriots the last 2 weeks at number 10. So they've been on my radar. They've moved up. It was between them and Kansas City for 8, but I still think Kansas City is a better team than New England.
Okay. I had the Ravens 7 last week. You can't put up a stinker, a total clunker on Thursday night against a bad Dolphins team and expect to remain there. So I did push them down to number 9. They're still good, I think. I'm not sure. They're kind of a hard team to figure out. They need a 66-yard field goal that doinks off the post or the crossbar to go in to beat Detroit. Yikes. Had no business beating the Colts, but nonetheless, you win those games. They're hanging on by a thread. I'm not sure what they are, but I've still got them in my top 10, and I've got them at 9. I have the Chiefs back in there. They were not in there last week. They were not in there in Week 9, so they have not been in my top 10 since Week 8, the first week we did it, and I had them at number 10. So I've got the Chiefs back in there at number 10. Willie, 10.
I kept Baltimore in the top 10 at 10. I moved them down. I've been having the Ravens a little higher, but yeah, the tightrope walking is hard to do every week. So they're hanging on, but by a thread. They're 10. I heavily considered New Orleans and the Colts for number 10.
Who did you say you had?
Baltimore, number 10.
You have the Ravens, okay.
Kansas City for me in number 10. So I'll finally move them into the top 10.
You had the Chargers last week.
Yeah, that 10th is just kind of rotating, it seems, these days. But, yeah, I had in the week before I had the Saints, so now the Chiefs.
Yeah, I had the Browns. Obviously, they go bye-bye. I had the Steelers last week. Like I said, you can't tie the Lions. I understand it. No Big Ben, but you can't tie the Lions and at home and expect to stay in the top 10. So, interesting. Okay, so Kansas City back in 2. No, all 3 of us had Kansas City, and Willie has them all the way up to 8. 2 of us have
Willie's a believer.
Kansas City at 10. Back on the Chiefs bandwagon, although something will have to give this week because the Chiefs and the Cowboys play. That'll be a very, very interesting game. All right, congratulations to Gary Vineyard. Gary was lucky caller 5. Gary, go enjoy that show next week at the Ryman, and thanks for listening. We'll come back. Hour number 3, we start with silly underdog picks. That's next.
Take us wherever you may go.
There is going to be a whole lot of work going on.
Tune us in anywhere, anytime.
I think he has some big play in him.
Just search The Game Nashville in your app store and download today. And keep it locked on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, Robbie Stanley here, and the NFL season has given us a big Week 11 divisional matchup between the Cardinals and the Seahawks, and FanDuel Sportsbook about to make it even bigger because FanDuel is giving new customers 30-1 odds on either team to win, and that means you can win $150 on a $5 bet. Personally, I like the Cardinals in this game. Give me them on the money line. Give me Kyler Murray over on the passing yards, but you take it any way you want to take it. Offers like this are why I love betting the NFL on FanDuel. It's the #1 rated sportsbook app in America. It's easy to use, and when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 2 hours. So just sign up with promo code ROB this week before the Cardinals take on the Seahawks, and you can win $150 on a $5 bet. Remember to use promo code ROB so they know that I sent you exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. New users only. A $10 first deposit required. Must wager in designated offer market. A max bonus of $150. Bonus for Tennessee users fulfilled in site credit within 72 hours. Tennessee site credit expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Got a gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
312 Pizza Company is family-owned and operated, bringing you a slice of Chicago to Nashville. 312 Pizza Company specializes in deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, and all things Chicago style. Always made from scratch using secret family recipes passed down generation to generation. 312 Pizza is open every day except for Tuesdays and is located in Germantown with dine-in, takeout, and curbside available. Call 615-730-7888 to order 312 Pizza Company, Nashville's authentic Chicago pizzeria.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as the Nashville Predators take on the Montreal Canadiens this Saturday. Puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 p.m. with all kinds of specials. See you at Headquarters Beer Cave, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
What's up, everybody? This is Teron Davenport, and I am here to tell you about Freedom Tire Guys. They're Nashville's premier mobile tire service. New tires, rotating, balancing, flat repair, torquing, they do it all. I can tell you this from personal experience. Just a couple weeks ago, I was at the Titans facility. They came there and changed my tires, all 4 of them. They did an excellent job. My car is riding extra smooth now. If you're in need of tire service, be sure to check them out at freedomtireguys.com. If you don't see the tires you want, they'll go ahead and get it for you.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game. When you need a long shot for a big score, you need silly underdog picks.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
It may be a long shot, but it's all you've got. It's time to pick your dark horse. Not your nose. This is Silly Underdog Picks.
brought to you by Volunteer Hose and Gasket.
Silly Underdog Picks. Now, on Darren, Donick, and Chase.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here. Underdog is here.
Hour number 3, Darren, Donick, and Chase on this Thursday. Darren McFarland, Chase McCabe, the commish is in the house in Canada. He's ran to the border. Maybe under fire, his job. I don't know. He's up in Montreal. We say hello to former quarterback Kelly Holcomb. By the way, deputy commissioner. We have words with him as well, Elijah Campbell, in the house. Former quarterback Kelly Holcomb now joins us. Kelly, as a former Browns quarterback, we had a good discussion with Sean Salisbury last hour about Baker Mayfield. Do you believe he is an elite or what do you believe? Is he a franchise quarterback, or is he a guy that's good but needs a lot of help around him, needs to be propped up?
Golly, man, you put me on the spot, Darren.
I know.
I don't, you know what, I've always been a big fan of Baker Mayfield. I think he's got something about him, his charisma. I don't know. There's not many guys, I'm probably going to deflect here, but there's not many guys that are like a John Elway that can take a team on his shoulders and do it himself, or like a Lamar Jackson in today's football that can literally win a game by himself. There's not many guys like that. So, you know, most guys, like Tom Brady has to have people around him. I mean, he can make the throws, but, you know, he has to have people blocking for him, you know. But, you know, you look at what John Elway did to get to those first 3 Super Bowls, and, you know, he kind of carried that team on his back, and Lamar Jackson can do the same thing. I mean, I've always been a fan of Baker's. He's got something about him. I just don't know if he can do that by himself. I'm not sure that you put him in an elite category yet, would you? I don't think that he's.
Your answer, honestly, sounds exactly like Sean Salisbury. Like you both root for him. You love his story. He brings charisma. He's changing maybe the culture, but needs, you know, he's not a guy that's going to say, get on my back and I'll carry you to the promised land, right? Fair to say?
There's not many guys in the world that can do that, though.
Agreed.
I mean, you know, like Aaron Rodgers can probably do that as well. One of the You know, I think Aaron Rodgers is arguably probably, you know, he doesn't have the Super Bowls, but like arguably the most talented guy that I've ever seen play quarterback that can do the things that he can do. He can throw off either leg. You know, he's just, you know, his footwork ain't great if you watch it. It's kind of like Brett Favre wasn't great either, but like Aaron Rodgers is one of those guys that can take a team to the next level just by himself. But I'm just not sure that Baker, and he hasn't shown that yet. So, you know, I don't know. We've still got a ways to go with that. But, you know, you got to, you know, the whole thing about the NFL and professional sports is you got to win. And as a quarterback, you got to win games. And, you know, he's yet to do that consistently.
Good stuff. All right, we'll go to forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders. Chris, I'll hit you with a hard-hitting question.
Yeah.
What is Odell Beckham Jr. today? What are the Rams getting? Is he still elite? Is he a factor? Is he just a name? What is he at this point in his career?
You know, I say this all due respect, but just watching him, I just think right now he's just another guy. You know, and I watched him when he played in the last week, the first game of the Rams. He just doesn't have that explosiveness that he had, you know, a couple of years ago. We're using to see him separate from guys. He's really not separating from the defensive back. So I just think he's getting older. I mean, with the injuries and things that he kind of went through, I just think it's really taking a toll on him. And just kind of looking at his body language to watching him in the game. Usually when he catches a pass or does something good, he gets excited. He just kind of like catches the ball and it's kind of like, okay, on to the next play. So something's going on mentally, but also physically. I just think he can't do it anymore, and I say that respectfully.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Okay, good stuff to get this thing started. Now we're going to find out exactly what shenanigans went on last week when I wasn't here, when Willie Donick wasn't here. Clearly, I mean, you're talking about,
Oh, there's shenanigans.
The cat being the cats being away, and boy, were the mice playing, evidently, because I still can't get any answers. So we've got Willie Donick, the commissioner up in Montreal. We've got Elijah Campbell, who I guess is the deputy commissioner. I don't know. It doesn't sound like he's in charge at all. I've asked for the picks. I chart this stuff every week. Nobody will send me picks, so I don't have a clue what the hell you guys were doing while I was away, but somebody, whoever's reviewing, please review.
Well.
Oh, so Willie's going to review? Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your commissioner speaking. Speaking in English, even though I am in the province of Quebec, where French is an accepted language.
If you did French, man, we would have a fun segment.
I'm a little short on my French.
I'd be like,
so
that's a cuss word.
English.
That's a cuss word.
Yeah.
That's a cuss word.
Oh, so Hal's been teaching you French, huh?
All right, well, this is what we have. Let's start with our online contest. As Darren mentioned, I was not available for the picks last week. I was in St. Louis, and so I was given the data by the deputy commissioner, Elijah Campbell. So let's go over it, shall we? First, let's go to the online contest in week number 11. There were 4 picks that were clearly the most popular picks, way above all the rest. The most popular pick was Baylor, a 25% rate among our listeners. They selected Baylor as one of their 3, and Baylor, of course, got the big win over Oklahoma. 23% had Purdue over Ohio State. That didn't go as well. 22% had Tennessee. A lot of believers for the Vols against Georgia. They played pretty well, but Georgia, the number 1 team in the country. And then 21%, for some reason, had Stanford. I can't figure that one out. They had Stanford over Oregon State. Stanford has not done well lately. They got smoked. So those are your most popular picks. The winner of the weekly prize was Cabot Pyle, a loyal listener, goes back a long way. Congratulations to Cabot. He had a very tough loss earlier this year. He has stayed with it, and he's got the victory for week 11. So congratulations to him. Now to the insider picks. Last week, Chris Sanders had the first pick. He went with the Temple Owls, a 24.5-point dog against Houston. I'm not sure if he thought it was the old Houston Oilers that were playing or the Houston Texans, but either way, the Houston Cougars just smashed Temple. Chris, 37-8.
Man, I thought it was going to be a better game, man. I will never, ever pick Temple again. I mean, if I even see it on the paper, I'm just going to come up the paper and throw it away. That's how kind of upset I was. I thought it was going to be kind of a good game, but it was whacked.
By the way, guys, since I do chart these things, like the commissioner's supposed to do, that's the 3rd time this season Chris has picked Temple. He just told us he's never picking them again.
I mean, listen, I got a big game this weekend, and everybody's excited. You're going to say that?
Don't make excuses, Chris. Come on now.
Oh, wow. Man, Chase getting in there.
Hey.
What in Sammy Hill's going on over there?
Chris has got to deal with me on Sunday for the pregame show. So it's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
May have to put Temple on the shelf for the season there. Kelly.
Well, he just said he was, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Kelly took TCU, a 13-point dog against Oklahoma State, and they forgot to play some defense. Final score, Kelly, 63-17 for the Cowboys.
Yeah, that obviously was a good pick. I mean, can we stop doing these flipping reviews? I mean, it's just getting discouraging, and every week it's getting more embarrassing and embarrassing.
Yeah, but you're going to laugh at this review in a second, so it'll be okay.
Okay. Okay, all right. Sounds good. Thank you.
What was that you say about bad defenses, Kelly? They can't stop traffic?
Yeah, they can't stop traffic. Terrible.
Apparently there was a lot of traffic at TCU.
With a yellow vest on and some orange cones, they can't stop traffic.
Chase McCabe had the third pick. He went with a very popular pick of Purdue over Ohio State. Purdue, of course, playing some pretty good football, but they were chuckle out of that, being the former Buckeye. Ohio State rolled up 59, speaking of not being able to stop traffic. 59-31, Buckeyes.
Go Bucks.
Yep. Move on to the next one.
That was a loser.
All right, on to the next pick. Darren McFarland took the Vanderbilt Commodores, a 21.5-point underdog.
I did not take the
against
Vanderbilt
Kentucky.
Commodores. I took the Baylor Bears
Well, that's
plus
what-
5.5.
That's what I have right here. It says
Baylor
Vanderbilt
plus 5.5.
21.5.
You took Vandy.
What? No. Where did I take Vandy? I submitted a
Elijah.
list to the deputy commissioner.
Do we have the audio?
We
My
reviewed.
first
The
pick
deputy
was
commissioner
Baylor.
has.
Oh my goodness.
Let's. We have two pieces of evidence to present to the jury here.
Starting with the discussion with Dr. Phil, which we played before the picks were made.
I'm just calling to let everybody know that I'm not going to be a part of the contest today, and I just think, quite honestly, by me saying that, I'm feeling bad, and I kind of feel like they should all – this is kind of like the Tom Cruise on Oprah's couch. I feel like they should all be jumping up and down because I'm starting to feel bad. Like, we've had this group text going, Dr. Phil, all year, and there's been a lot of chatter. And, I just keep going 2-0 and 2-0 and 2-0. And I'm trying to stay classy, but I'm not really staying classy. I'm bragging a lot. And I just feel like the chatter is going. I feel they feel defeated, and I'm getting that vibe. They're just kind of waving the towel, and they're kind of giving up. And I think it's time to, for you to let them know, like, I'm just going to kind of give up this week. Like, I'm just going to let my dogs pick the games or do something crazy. Maybe me and you can toss Frisbees, and I'll put stickers on the back of team names, and, maybe I'll just catch one, and whatever I catch, that'll be my game. I'm trying to do something to build morale.
So after that was played.
It's called a bit, Deputy. Commish. It's called a bit.
And
then I submit
the tape
you
don't
my real
lie.
picks.
The tape don't lie.
Tape don't lie.
Tape don't lie.
Tape don't lie.
Then why would I submit you picks if I really wasn't going to pick? It's
I
just called a
heard
bit.
Vanderbilt. That's what I heard.
You said
And then
pick.
the mutiny happened.
Does
Darren
Joe
McFarland.
pick for Darren? Is that
Oh, we could. I have picks for Darren. I can completely just say that I haven't seen him or I forgot and just let Joe pick anyway.
Let's go this. Vanderbilt over Kentucky. Boom.
All right.
Because if it happens, Darren loves Kentucky, and Vanderbilt beats them, and so he'll be mad but happy, and that's –
It's an emotional hedging.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Perfect.
Do you guys agree with this? You like this plan?
Absolutely, I agree with it. Yes.
Really? Really? So that's where we're at.
Good pick, Joe. Good pick, Joe.
Thank you, brother.
What he sent me was Baylor. They are 5.5-point underdogs.
My pick was
against
NBA?
Oklahoma. To NBA,
Yeah, to NBA.
and the Fighting Crusaders.
That's disrespectful.
Oh, that's good. So we're gonna go with Vandy plus 21.
That's where we're at. And this, like, you guys.
But if it happens too, then you guys are down.
Oh yeah,
like,
then
even,
we're screwed.
even further.
But
Yeah.
Kentucky's reeling.
I mean, I think it's pretty. We're already screwed, Chase. I
it's
mean,
true.
It's pretty,
It's true.
pretty evident.
See, this could have backfired very bad on us.
Oh, don't give me the backfired speech.
But it didn't.
Don't give me that crap.
It could have, but it
like,
didn't.
that's where we're at. Like, you guys want me to stay classy, which I haven't been. But
no,
then
not
you
at all.
guys go total mutiny and just decide while I'm gone. I can't go have a weekend away, and you just make my pick for me?
Darren, it's not like it's going to matter, Hoss. Have you seen the scores?
Well, it matters, for me to put together another 2 in a week, Kelly. I mean, again.
It doesn't matter, Darren. It doesn't matter.
Okay. I mean,
it doesn't.
Wow. Kelly, the way you feel about the commissioner is the way I feel about the deputy commissioner. He sucks, okay? He's got no power at all.
Yeah,
None.
he got rolled. He got rolled over like.
You know what he is? He is deputy sheep. He just follows the crowd and does whatever the crowd wants him to do. He's not in charge.
The deputy commissioner turn over on his back faster than your dog when he knows he's going to get a belly
Yeah,
rub.
the deputy commissioner's a total basset hound. It's like rub my belly. I mean, what the hell was that?
I'm the people's champ. That's how you win re-election.
That's great.
Well, up here in Montreal, I have just heard this for the first time. Let me just say publicly that I am shocked. I am shocked and appalled.
This is your office, Willie. This is your office. It's coming from your office.
I just cannot believe this is conduct unbecoming to the Silly Underdog Picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Hey, listen.
Darren,
I got
good
the results.
news.
The results are down on paper. Vanderbilt came up short, 34-17. I'm sorry, Darren. If you'd like to take
changing.
up
My sheet says Baylor, and I will remember. I will count this as a victory.
Hey, Darren, just so you know, the NCAA is investigating. You should feel much better about things. The NCAA is going to look into it. There's a committee that's being formed.
Yeah,
headed by me.
All I'm saying is if this thing comes down to that, then there'll be an appeal. There should be an appeal at the end of the season, and you'll get your little 5.5 points or whatever it is.
It seems like there were a lot of McDonald's bags being doled out while I was away last week. That's what it feels like. I'm just saying.
All right, we will put the asterisk there next to the loss, but as it is now, Darren falls there. He did recover. And have the Eagles. I
didn't
have the
recover
Eagles
from
as a
anything.
2.5
I
point.
submitted 2 winning picks, Willie. I didn't recover from anything.
He's not going to let this go.
Eagles
go ahead, give
2.5 points
my
over
other
the
winning
Broncos. Yeah, that was a win, 30-13. Eagles surging a bit here. So Darren picks up 2.5 points to add to his total.
That's crazy.
Chase McCabe had the next pick. He went with the Lions in the NFL, an 8.5 point dog against the Steelers. Chase needs points badly. He's trying to vault over Kelly for second place. The Lions go into overtime. It was a comedy of errors. Steelers had Ben Roethlisberger go down with the COVID. They had all kinds of struggles. The Lions had a great opportunity, and it ends up in a 16-16 tie. A tie. No
Should never
points
happen.
for a tie.
It's called karma. You get that. That's karma, Chase. That's what that is.
What? Are you saying I'm the ringleader in all of this?
I'm saying you were right in the middle of it, so yeah, that's karma.
Probably.
Some bitterness. Some bitterness from the top.
That's all right. Whatever. He'll get over
Kelly
it.
Holcomb had the Seahawks for 3.5 against the Packers.
Wow.
The Seahawks didn't score. They were not able to score. So Kelly's college pick, his team couldn't stop anybody. They gave up 63. And then in the NFL, his team didn't score a point.
He couldn't stop anybody either.
I know Russell Wilson had finger surgery, but he looks like he looked like in that game he'd never played football before.
Never been shut out in his NFL career.
Wow, bad.
Yep.
Ouch. And then Chris Sanders, again, going with one of the lowly dregs of society in the NFL, the Jets. I thought they might have a shot there, but they got smoked by the Bills. 45-17. So Chris not working out with his philosophy of going for the big chunks.
What was the line on that?
We still got a long season to go. It's still not over, guaranteed. Something's good going to happen.
Jets plus 12.
Plus 12. Okay.
Dang. Well, you guys are mean.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know you wanted to note that.
Yeah, because I'm keeping my sheet. My sheet has Baylor. But, okay, I just want to put your all's picks.
Dang, you still crying about that?
Chris, he'll cry about it for a month. What are you talking about?
There will be an appeals process, and the precedent was set several years ago.
I'm officially appealing.
When Kelly Holcomb. Okay, we'll submit that to the commissioner's office.
Oh, is that when Kelly picked a game that had already started?
Yes, that was that did happen, and there was an appeals process. We went through the process accordingly.
Kelly's always still
game that was already started.
Good gracious, I tried to slide one in.
That was great. George is like, now wait a minute.
Now, hold on a second, Kelly.
It's in the second quarter.
That game's going to half. All right, Commish, get this thing on the rails.
Well, I'm still in shock over the scandal of the shenanigans.
Well,
and as the saying goes,
that's what happens when you're gone, Willie. I mean, you're supposed to be there every week, Commissioner.
Well, so to answer your question, Willie, from earlier, no. Maddox is not going to make my picks. I'm going to make my picks because this is what I feared was going on. So, no. I'm going to make my picks.
Okay. All right. Well,
Okay.
It sounds like you're – yeah. All right. So the standings after 11 weeks. Darren is 13-8. Darren still has a commanding lead with 79 points. Kelly at 7-15 is still holding at second place barely at 29.5. Chase right on his tail at 28, but neither picks up any points this week. And Chris Sanders still at the bottom at 1-21 with 4 points.
That makes me feel good. Gosh, 1-21. Thanks, bud.
1-21.
Just get past that part. Just say, he's 1-21.
All right, Silly Underdog Picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. We will return for the picks for Week 12 coming up. A very, very rankled Darren McFarland. We'll see who he picked this week. Stay tuned. We're coming back.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Last year, Nashville SC shattered the expectations in Major League Soccer.
Nashville SC dumping Toronto out of the playoffs.
Now they're back for more. Nashville SC is back in the Audi MLS Cup playoffs, and you can cheer for the boys in gold here at Nissan Stadium. Get your tickets now for round 1 to see Nashville SC face off against Orlando City SC on November 23rd at 7 p.m. Tickets start at just $24, so come be a part as the boys in gold look to bring a championship to Nashville. Get your tickets at NashvilleSC.com/tickets. Everyone in.
Your home value is way up. Why not use it to make your home even nicer with a new kitchen or bathroom? Hey, Willie here. So many of our listeners are doing this with Loan Pronto, thanks to their zero-cost cash-out refi program. Call Loan Pronto now. They're fast-tracking home refis for the year-end, and people are getting checks for $60, $70, $100 or more. It's fast and easy. It's your money, money you can use to add even more value to your home. Imagine 2022 with that all-new luxurious kitchen you've been dreaming about, or start building that pool so it's going to be ready for the summer. Call Loan Pronto now. See how easy it is to use the equity in your home and walk away with the big check. They can even pay your closing costs, and you can skip your next 2 house payments. Call 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Trust the roofers with integrity. E2 Roofing is a veteran-owned and operated local Nashville roofer with over 90 5-star Google ratings and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. While roofing is our business at E2, honor is our code. For roof repair, roof replacement, free inspections, or insurance claim assistance, visit e2roofingnashville.com.
Bode Nashville puts you in a chic and stylish downtown Nashville hotel, walking distance to some of Music City's most popular spots. Working with local partners, they introduce you to the city, its craft, and its tastes. From their porch coffee and marketplace, serving local coffee from Stay Golden, to their in-house cocktail bar, Sidebar. Bode Nashville is a perfect spot for your pregame or nightcap and citywide adventure in between. Connect to Music City, its culture, its craft, and each other at Bode Nashville at 401 2nd Avenue South in Sobro.
Sunday afternoon. It's our NFL Game of the Week, brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys.
Prescott unloading end zone.
Visit Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Mahomes flips, pass, caught, touchdown.
Coverage begins at 2:45
on ESPN.
102.5 The Game.
Hey Nashville, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Dog picks presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. Moved on to week number 12. Remember, you can play by going to our website, thegamenashville.com, and making your 3 picks every Saturday. Now, The competition after 11 weeks. Darren McFarland, a commanding lead, 79 points at 13-8 with an asterisk. Kelly Holcomb.
Eli got in trouble for that.
29 and a half. Chase with 28. Chris Sanders with 4. Week 12 shall begin with our college picks, and the first pick belongs to Kelly Holcomb.
We can skin a buck and run a trot line, and a country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Country boy can survive. Country folks can survive.
Darren's mad.
Okay, I can't, I said last week, getting out of my comfort zone. There's some good comfort zone picks for me, but we can't go there anymore. And if we're really trying to win the game, we've got to go for stupid picks like Chris, a.k.a. Dwayne. So I don't think in the 10 years I've been doing this, I don't know how long I've been doing this. It's been a while. But in the 10 years or so that I've been doing this, I don't think I've ever picked this team, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm about to, but it's got a lot of points. They hung close with Oklahoma. They beat Texas last week. The other team that they're playing is coachless. They couldn't stop traffic, as we've already alluded to. So I'm going to say Kansas.
What?
Beat TCU.
Wow.
I can't believe
Kansas is a 21-point dog on the road against TCU. Kansas coming off a miraculous win over Texas. Rock chalk. That was quite the game. Kansas is 2-8. TCU, making the coaching change, is at 4-6. Pretty interesting pick.
You got to do something. I mean, what do you do?
Got to try.
21 points.
Playing to win. Playing to win. I like the pick. All right. Picking second. Currently in third place, Mr. Chase McKay.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Had to change it up. Time to get back to our roots here.
Yeah.
Had to change it up. All right, I'm like Kelly. I need points, but we have a second place battle going that has to be addressed too. So I'm going to do a game that'll take place at 2:30 on Saturday, and I like this home dog a lot. Charlotte getting 14.5 at home, playing Marshall in the Thundering Herd. Give me Charlotte and Will Healy.
All right.
Chase goes into Conference USA and selects Charlotte, a 14.5-point home dog against the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Charlotte has been involved in a lot of picks this year. Very interesting. So the home dog is on the board.
Chase,
Darren, before we...
Chase, you're really battling for second place. Are you really?
I mean, no, I'm going for the lead, but I mean,
Okay, all right.
It's close.
No, it's not.
Well, second. Chris, where are you at?
I'm basically not even in the game. I got 4 points, man. 4 points.
We know.
I am containing everything in my body. I don't even say bad words, but I want to cuss every one of y'all out. I'm just being honest. I'm so.
The day that happens
right
is
now.
the day I'm like, I've seen it all.
I'm so mad right now. I feel like Darren. Yeah, I feel like Darren.
Chris, have you considered therapy? Oh, wait. Yes, I believe you have had some therapy.
He had 2 doctors last week.
Yes.
I did, but I switched it up this week. Instead of going to Dr. Phil, I watched one of my favorite movies, and that's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It put me up really good. So after I watched that, I'm ready to go, baby.
Okay. It'll be Chris's pick in a moment. And Darren, it is your turn. Darren, before you pick, though, I did get a list of games from Joe Dubin that he suggests. He'd like it.
You can light that on fire.
Darren McFarland has the pick. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Salty.
Guardian.
Fever.
For real now.
It's official.
Guardian.
Get your gear.
Trademark.
Each game is a brand new beginning.
They settled.
It's the hits
The homers, the double plays. It's how
And
you
roll the
feel
derby.
when we win. So catch
Guardian.
fever. Be a believer with the Cleveland
Guardians.
Get your merch now for the holidays. The roller derby team has new unis. Everything is behind it. I've watched this team a lot. I think they're pretty good. They're fun. They can score a lot of points, but to steal Kelly's line, boy, they can't stop traffic. That's for sure when it comes to defense. They need to score a lot because they can't stop you. But they're fun to watch. I don't believe Clemson's back. I'll take Wake Forest in 4.5.
Wake Forest, one of the most intriguing teams in college football this year at 9-1.
They had a good win last week against NC State.
A good bounce back because the one loss they had a big lead on North Carolina. Of course, it's a high-scoring back-and-forth game, but that's North Carolina was able to make the comeback and pin a loss on Wake Forest, but that's their only one of the year. So Wake Forest, despite all of this, despite being 9-1, is a 4.5-point dog on the road at Clemson, who has been completely off the radar for several weeks now, but they are still sitting there at 7-3. So the Deacons are the pick. All right. That brings us to Chris Sanders, who has back-to-back picks.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone help.
Very indeed. I definitely need help. Here's what I'm going to do with. I don't know if Vanderbilt's playing. I might pick Vanderbilt like Darren did, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I am going to go with Duke over Louisville. 19.
Oh, I will even give you 20. I'm looking at the
the
official sheet here. Duke as a 20-point home dog.
That's tonight.
Why? Okay, time out. Why every time I pick, there's just a whole bunch of chuckling going on over there?
Well, you tried Duke before, didn't you?
Yeah, you did, and they lost by 70.
That's a good point.
They got destroyed the last time you took that.
Yeah, that is tonight.
Good point. Yeah, good point. Well, I get my 19 points tonight, and so I can just bad math y'all all day Saturday.
Okay, so Chris will be out of it tonight. Cool. Got it.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So
See you Sunday.
Duke is 3-7. They're a 20-point dog against 5-5 Louisville. It's on ESPN tonight at 6:30.
And I'm there.
All right, you're there. All right, Chris. You also have a pro pick.
All right. I hate to do this, but I'm going. I got to go for the gusto. I'm going with the Texans over the Titans.
Oh, come on.
Gosh,
Oh,
Chris, really? Really?
Okay. I'm telling you, man.
They're honoring
Titans by 40.
Your the GM that drafted you, your head coach. They're honoring him, and you're going to take the Texans, and you're doing the pregame show. It's alumni weekend, really?
I didn't get invited.
Oh. Okay. Maybe that's why you're taking the Texans. Okay.
Absolutely.
The Texans are a 10-point dog at the Titans, despite the fact that the Titans have been all kinds of banged up, and then some. Texans coming in at 1-8 after winning the opener against the Jags. They have dropped 8 straight. That brings us to Darren for his pro pick. Darren, I still have a couple of picks from Joe, if you would
or Maddox
like to consider.
Maddox texted. He's got some.
I am going to take some attractive games. I'm going to try this one.
Indy?
Yeah, that's where I'm going, Chris. I'm going to try the Colts.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, it sounds like somebody wanted to take the Colts.
I'm going to take them at 7.
So did I.
Yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts are a 7-point dog in a big, big game for them against the Buffalo Bills. And that game is up in Western New York.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Colts at 5-5, needing a win for their playoff hopes. Colts at Bills. All right, that brings us to Chase McCabe.
That was a good pick. That's where I was going to go. Let's see. For me, I'm going to go against things that I have been saying, but It's Thursday night, and you never know what's going to happen. I will take Atlanta at home plus 6.5.
I considered it pretty heavily. It really did.
I just got a funny feeling. I
Me
just put
too.
I put the Patriots, moved them up in the top 10, and yeah, I got a funny feeling.
The Falcons at 4-5 are a 6.5-point dog, coming off just getting destroyed last week, 43-3, and they will take on the Patriots at 6-4, who have been red hot. Very interesting pick.
I'll take the Falcons and the points tonight. I'll just tell you that right now. I'm taking them.
Okay.
And the points.
Okay. I'll see if I can get a TV that has that game here in Montreal. I'm more likely to get curling, I think, but I think we'll find something. Kelly, the final pick of the week belongs to you.
Well, Darren, I got to say up yours for the Bills pick. That's true. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, and this is probably a crazy pick. It's kind of a Texans pick here, so I'm going to say that they had a big win on Monday night last week. They got to go across country. I think Urban's going to have the guys going. Jacksonville's terrible, but I think they'll play hard. 49ers will lay an egg. So I'm going to say the Jacksonville Jaguars beat San Francisco.
I don't think it's crazy at all.
I don't think it's crazy. The Jags have been playing much better. They've been playing much better, much more competitive. But the 49ers have surged a little bit here. The Jaguars are a 6-point home dog as they take on the San Francisco 49ers playing on the short week. All right, let's do a quick recap, and we will close the books on Week 12. Silly Underdog Picks, presented by Volunteer Hose and Gasket. It starts off with Kelly Holcomb. He goes into the Big 12. The Kansas Jayhawks coming off a massive upset of Texas last week. This week, they're a 21-point dog on the road against TCU. Chase McCabe, right now in third place, just a 1.5 behind Kelly, selects Will Healy and the Charlotte 49ers out of Conference USA, a 14.5-point home dog against the Marshall Thundering Herd. Darren McFarland, coming off a controversy, goes into the ACC, tries to get back on the horse, stay with his game. He's got a sizable lead. He goes with the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. Only one loss on the season, a 4.5-point dog on the road at Clemson. And then Chris Sanders goes with the Duke Blue Devils, who failed him a couple of weeks ago. This week, Duke, 20-point home dogs against Louisville, that game being played tonight. Then Chris goes into the pros. He'll go in his own backyard and go against his former team. He selects the Houston Texans, a 10-point dog on the road against the 8-2 Titans on a special weekend, alumni weekend, and he picks against this team. Unbelievable. Then Darren McFarland gets a playoff rematch from last year, a game that went right down to the wire. And he selects the Indianapolis Colts at 5-5, trying to stay in the race. 7-point dogs in Buffalo to take on the Bills. Chase McCabe goes with the Atlanta Falcons, absolutely crushed last week, trying to bounce back as a 6.5-point dog against the New England Patriots. Then finally, Kelly Holcomb goes down to Jacksonville and takes the Jaguars, showing some signs of life. They're a 6-point home dog against the San Francisco 49ers. Remember, you can play our contest by going online at thegamenashville.com. Make your 3 picks, college or pro, any combination. Just make them before Saturday at 10. Those are our picks for week number 12. Gentlemen, from Montreal, good luck.
Clean up your office.
Thank you.
You don't mean it.
Kelly, thank you as always. Have a great weekend. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. See y'all.
That is Kelly Holcomb, former quarterback. Chris, good luck with your game tomorrow night.
Appreciate you, man. Hey.
Who do you have?
We actually have the Christian brothers. Oh,
yeah, that should be a good one.
They're good. It's going to be a good game, man. Hey, can I say something for like 32 seconds?
Sure.
Hey, and I'm not going to be funny. I know I act crazy all the time, but here's the deal. I personally, I mean, it's a big day on Sunday for Floyd Reese, and I personally want to say to his family and to everybody that was close to him, thank you for letting me be a part of his life, and also thank him for drafting me the third round, the 67th pick. But more than that, he just wasn't my general manager. He was a good friend. So thank you guys for doing the tribute to him on Friday with Jared. And, that's a guy that I will always respect and always admire. So I just wanted to let
as will we. Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate
Have
you guys.
a good weekend. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
All right, Willie, you're going to tell everybody about Lee Company, and then we'll come back and wrap up the third hour.
All right, sounds good, guys. Just one side note. I just wondered, with Kansas being picked by Kelly, 9 people in our contest, 9 had Kansas over Texas last week. So congratulations to those 9. All right, time to tell you about Lee Company. Now, I'm up here in Montreal where it is kind of chilly, rainy, not the best weather. But back home, we know what the deal is. It's going to get progressively colder. Make sure your heating unit is working properly. Lee Company is a great sponsor of Nashville Predators hockey, and this is their bread and butter. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. They've got all kinds of services. Ask about their home maintenance plan where they give you the annual checkups for all 4 of those things. They make sure everything's running efficiently. But beyond that, if you've got a maintenance problem in your home or at your business and it needs to get taken care of, call Lee Company right now, 615-567-1000, or go online and make an appointment at leecompany.com. Let them come in and take care of your problem so you can get to your business and then get on to having your fun, like watching the Predators and the Canadians on Saturday night. Lee Company, proud sponsor of Nashville Predators. Let their decades of expertise go to work for you.
Friday evening at 5, it's Floyd Reese, a true Titan, honoring the GM's legacy as he goes into the Ring of Honor, featuring some of the biggest names in franchise history, and hosted by longtime co-host Jared Stillman. Floyd Reese, a true Titan, presented by Neighbors in Germantown. Tune in Friday at 5 on Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN, 102.5 The Game, and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. A couple scattered showers will continue for us for the rest of the morning. Most of this clears by the early afternoon. Colder today, highs in the upper 40s and lower 50s.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Celebrate Thanksgiving with Social Furniture and save up to 70% off all furniture. They have sofas, sectionals with chase lounge, and recliners that are all push-button electric and wall away. They have all colors to choose from for your comfort watching any hockey game. All of them are plus leather, microfiber, and Chanel's. They have same-day delivery with no down payments and no interest. Forget the big box store. Support local. Support social. Social Furniture is a proud supporter of your Nashville Predators.
More than 80% of hospitals and other healthcare employers are now looking to hire nurses holding a bachelor's degree. That's why Aspen University's 3-year accelerated and accredited BSN pre-licensure program is now enrolling with no wait list. Tuition and fees are less than $50,000 and transfer credits are accepted. Want to learn more? Just text STEP to 323232 right now. Most courses are online and you'll complete your clinicals within our collaborative network of healthcare providers. Plus, if you need more flexibility, we offer a nights and weekends program. Text STEP to 323232 right now. All clinical simulations and labs are delivered in person while following CDC guidelines for social distancing and masks. If you've thought about becoming a registered nurse, the time is now. Text STEP to 323232 to learn more today. Text the word STEP to 323232 right now. Text STEP to 323232. Total cost of the degree program will vary depending on the courses taken, transfer credits awarded, and fees incurred. Employment statistics are from the AAC and Research Brief published in December 2020. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Message and data rates may apply.
Treating erectile dysfunction with acoustic wave therapy has been getting a lot of attention lately. But you should know that some are promising results we just haven't seen and charging a lot of money for the treatments as well. This is Kim for the Tennessee Men's Clinic, and if you're looking at acoustic wave therapy or any option to help your ED, you really should call us first. Unlike wave therapy only clinics, the Tennessee Men's Clinic wave therapy protocols do use acoustic wave technology, but we also often combine it with other treatments that can give most of our patients far higher satisfaction rates. There is no surgery nor any type of invasive procedure required. And even better, depending on your treatment strategy and with our urologist and provider's guidance, you can likely have sex the day after your appointment. We even have other treatments that can help you last up to an hour. Plus, for a limited time, we're waiving our normal appointment charge, which includes a PSA and T test, and offering a free ultrasound, altogether nearly a $400 value, for free. So make an appointment today. Call 615-208-9090 or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments, extra results vary.
Calling all sweet tooths. Head to Nashville Toffee Company, a place where rich, chocolatey daydreams are created from a secret family recipe generations in the making. Their toffees and candies are handcrafted in Nashville using all natural, kosher-certified ingredients. Sweet creamery butter, pure cane sugar, premium roasted nuts, deep rich chocolate, and sea salt. Visit NashvilleToffeeCompany.com or drop by their headquarters on Air Lane Drive for a positively hassle-free shopping experience. Whether you're buying for 1 or 100, Nashville Toffee Company is here to make your holiday gift-giving easy.
Jared Stillman.
I cannot believe they picked this guy I've never heard of.
And company.
You're forced to play cap gymnastics, which makes it a little bit more difficult for picking up other guys.
Tune in Stillman and Company for your drive home. Delivered by TriStar Moving. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. If you've missed any of today's show, just search Darren, Donick, and Chase on Apple, Spotify, or on your favorite podcast platform.
Let me echo what Chris Sanders said on the way out the door. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow from 5 until 7 p.m. for Floyd Reese, a true Titan. That'll be honoring the legacy of Floyd Reese as Titans' former general manager as he gets inducted into the Ring of Honor at Nissan Stadium on Sunday when the Titans host the Texans. The special will feature some of the biggest names in franchise history who knew Floyd as well as anyone, and you've heard them on these airwaves over the years on Jared and the GM. Tomorrow's tribute to Floyd Reese is brought to you by Neighbors Nashville. Neighbors is the best sports entertainment bar in Nashville with locations in Germantown, Sylvan Park, and coming soon to Franklin. Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase. Our show is presented by Creation CBD. Creation CBD, products curated for life. This is starting to swirl all over Twitter, and I don't know how much truth there is to it, but I think Paul Feinbaum brought it up to us yesterday. I believe it was him. I know we've had several college football discussions this week, but apparently, according to Canes Access, if Lane Kiffin, if the Miami, Florida job comes open, sources close to Kiffin tell Andy Slater, I guess Andy Slater's with Canes Access, that he would leave Ole Miss for the Miami, Florida job. So that is starting to swirl all over Twitter. And so I guess Ole Miss, your serve. Better get gas up the Brinks truck.
It's not that surprising, though. I mean, Miami is such a Lane Kiffin type of market.
Those years in Boca Raton and said, I want more.
Yeah, I want back. I'm ready to go back.
Yeah. I mean, there is of course, there's the area, the weather, sure, the recruiting. But, I mean, I guess I go back to what we were talking about earlier in this week when we were talking about this, when it's swirling out there, the Miami, Florida, because I guess the AD, right, is out, and so they may be making a change at head coach. But is it a good job anymore? I mean, unless you're cheating your you-know-what off, is it a good job? Can you win there?
I think Ole Miss is a better job right now. Right now, today.
Do they have the facilities down there in Miami? Have they pumped the money into the program? I mean, they don't have their own stadium.
Not like
they play at Hard Rock Stadium where I've been. I was just at in August. I mean, the fan base is kind of. I mean, do they care down there? Is that really a good job? Other than yes, great weather, great area, sure, fertile recruiting ground. I get those are all huge check marks. I get that. But, I mean, actually, not cheating and doing things down there, is that a program that you can sustain success at?
Like I said, I think Ole Miss is a better job right now.
Why
I
do you
don't
say
know.
that?
I think that's a really interesting debate on that, which is the better job. But first of all, this is a weird story. This is just – you don't ever do this. If you're Miami and you want Lane Kiffin, it's the worst thing you can do is put out a story like that. and have it like Lane Kiffin told me he wants the job, he'd leave. Like, that's a great way to squash the whole thing right now.
Well, Miami's not doing anything.
Or to get paid in Oxford.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's somebody talked to somebody and got info and they put it out there. I mean, this stuff happens all the time. But to answer your question, Ole Miss does have facilities. They do have money that's invested into the program, and it's the SEC. He's done a really good job there playing in the toughest division in college football. Now, has he beaten Alabama yet? No, he hasn't in 2 tries. But I just feel like with the investment that Ole Miss gets in their football program, to your point, it's better than what Miami's done in the last few years. And I think the stadium thing is important. You know, these schools that play in the NFL stadiums and they're not on campus, I mean, I understand why they do it, but there is something that's taken away. I mean, those days back in the Orange Bowl.
There's no atmosphere at Hard Rock.
Yeah. I mean, and I know the Orange Bowl was not in a great place, but
no, it's where the Marlins play now.
Yeah. Did we determine it's on the site or?
I think it is. I think so. I think that's right. It's right. It's that area, and it's not. I was just there. It's not a good area. I just went to a game there. It's not. It is not a good area.
But it's just, you know, I just think that, I don't necessarily want to say step down, but that's kind of what it feels like if he did that. Now, can he turn them around like he's done the last couple of years at Ole Miss? Who knows? But like you said, if you're not cheating, then are you going to get anywhere with that?
I'll tell you, I just that West, the SEC West, is what would be something that would be hard for me to envision year in and year out the battle that you have to fight at Ole Miss. And I look at Miami, and yeah, they got their own list of problems, but I just see the ACC as such a land of opportunity right now. Who are the big dogs? Florida State's got nothing going on.
What do they think they are? I mean, this is the third year of Manny Diaz, 6-7, 8-3 last year, and then this year. And I know this year hasn't been the greatest, but I mean, what do they think they are?
They're not bad.
I mean, right? I mean, what do they think they are?
They just lost to Florida State, though.
Okay,
that's pretty bad. You do that now. They did beat Pittsburgh. They beat NC State when NC State was ranked.
I mean, do they think they're a top-tier pro? I mean, what do they think there is 8-3 last year? I mean, what?
But okay, let me ask the dumb question here: Is Manny Diaz? Manny Diaz played at Miami. He's out at the end of the year.
Well, there's a lot of speculation of that.
His seat is very warm.
Oh no, it's not warm. It's hot.
After 3 years?
Yes.
A guy that played there?
It's hot.
Wow.
Yeah. Why do you think all this stuff is swirling? People are already saying that they don't believe he's going to make it, or he won't be back. That's what I'm saying. Like, what do they think they are?
Well, I still see what they are is a team that has a brand that they've lost, but they're in a league that if you can get your act together, you can get some things done in a hurry. There's so many teams in that league that just are easy to pass up if you can get your act together down there.
Well,
you have access to great players.
The reason this story, I guess, is starting to get a lot of legs is because I said the AD, after they lost to Florida State, is out. AD got fired. That's why. And so guess what? Blake James, the AD, guess who hired Manny Diaz? This is how it typically works, right? So that means there's going to be a new AD. And so that's why I think a lot of people are saying that, Manny Diaz.
But we don't even know who the AD is, but that AD automatically is going to be able to have ties with Lane Kiffin?
There's a pretty good history.
Well, if the Ole Miss AD gets that job.
It's about the job being open. It's not, I mean, I get it, what you're saying, but I mean, this is more about the job being open. And they're saying, history has shown us more times than not, unless the coach is setting the world on fire with their record, the new AD is going to come in and hire who they want. They don't want to inherit somebody.
But that's a separate story than the story that we started this conversation with, that Lane Kiffin told somebody he would take the Miami job. Like, the guy that's going to do the hiring hasn't been hired. So that's a really strange couple of stories there. Like, if they had hired a guy who has ties with Lane Kiffin and that story comes out, that'd make perfect sense. Even though the timing's not very good, if you actually want it to happen, I'd keep that hush-hush.
I'm just passing along what's swirling out there
on
Twitter.
But
swirl. Anytime you mention Lane Kiffin, you're going to get a swirl.
Yep, he swirls.
You may get a swirly, but right now this is swirling on Twitter.
Yeah, because I don't even know who the candidates would be. So
maybe Butch Davis. They're looking to bring him back.
Probably not.
Jimmy Johnson. What about him?
Now that'd be a swirl.
That'd be get some attention.
Well, that'll get some attention. I think this is curious. I would love to know Lane Kiffin's play. Like, what is he just looking for? More money at Ole Miss? What is it? Security, more money, more years? Because is he truly interested in Miami, Florida? And I would that interests me because I don't understand why. I don't get why other than, yes, great location, great weather, fertile recruiting ground, but is it really a good job? Do they give a crap down there about Miami, Florida? It doesn't feel like it.
And it hasn't for a while.
Yeah, back when they were it was the U, yes.
Yeah, and it hasn't been the U in a long time.
It hasn't been the U in a long time. Yeah. All right, we'll come back. Elliot Freeman to begin the final hour of the program. That's next.
Your speaker at home is so smart that even Alexa knows where to find Nashville's best sports talk.
102.5 The Game is Nashville's best sports talk.
Ask Alexa to enable 102.5 The Game. Once enabled, ask Alexa to play 102.5 The Game.
Welcome to 102.5 The Game.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Hillside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The Wave technology at Hillside Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 615-576-5000. That's 615-576-5000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Hillside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 615-576-5000.
No need to stand in line waiting for the deals this year. Black Friday shopping starts early at Electronic Express. Huge savings on 4K TVs, computers, laptops, tablets, speakers, headphones, and more. Upgrade your kitchen just in time for Thanksgiving with up to 40% off all appliances. Plus, buy now, pay later with up to 36 months free financing. It's already Black Friday shopping season at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Since their doors opened in 1898 in England, Arkansas, Bank of England Mortgage has been providing down-home exceptional service. Bank of England's success is due to the talent of their loan officers and their access to hundreds of mortgage products at the industry's best pricing. Bank of England Mortgage has 3 Middle Tennessee locations ready to serve you. Go to BOE1214.com or call 615-823-1215. Bank of England Mortgage is a division of Bank of England Mortgage. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, NMLS 418-481.
It's football season, and Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is here to serve you. If your AC or heater is old and inefficient, you can replace it with up to 60 months no monthly interest financing for qualified buyers. That's right, 60 months no monthly interest financing for qualified buyers. One of the many ways you can save at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. They offer 6 months no interest financing available on repairs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, offering premium service without the premium price. Visit springhillac.com or call them at 615-778-8855.
Signs First is the official sign company for 102.5 The Game. Go to sfnash.com.
It's the official Bud Light Preds watch party as the Nashville Predators take on the Montreal Canadiens this Saturday. Puck drops at 6, but the party starts at 5:30 p.m. with all kinds of specials. See you at Headquarters Beer Cave, downtown Nashville on 2nd Avenue. Go Preds!
Parman Tractor and Equipment is your one-stop tractor and equipment solution and Middle Tennessee's Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer. No matter how you're getting there, start with Parman Tractor and Equipment. Rent or purchase a track loader, mini excavator, large excavators for your job site, or something in between. Their service and parts team will get your work site up and running in no time. Parman Tractor and Equipment will come to you for service if needed. Visit ParmanTractor.com for more info. Your Middle Tennessee Link Belt and Takeuchi dealer, providing totally outrageous customer service.
Nashville's best sports talk, locally owned, home of our Nashville Predators. WPRT FM Pegram, 97.5 Murfreesboro, WBUZ HD2 Laverne, online at thegamenashville.com. We are
ESPN
102.5 The Game. Live from the Game Nashville studios, it's time for Darren, Donick, and Chase. With hosts Darren McFarland, Willie Donick, and Chase McCabe. On Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN
102.5 The Game.
Final hour on this Thursday afternoon. Hope everybody's had a good day. But thus far, let's bring in Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet. Hockey night in Canada, 32 Thoughts. Check out that podcast. He joins us every Thursday at this time. Good afternoon, Elliot. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. We know no game in Ottawa tonight against the Senators. That game has been postponed for a later date. They already had their game against the Devils on Tuesday night postponed. They'll have another one on Saturday postponed.
Yep.
That was the first one in the league because we were talking out loud the other day on the show. That is the first one of this season, correct?
Yes, those are the first ones this year. And
okay,
you know what's ominous is that the NFL, obviously they've had some situations. The biggest being Aaron Rodgers, and they've still been able to have games. And basketball's had some situations, but they're still able to have games. I think it must be the rink atmosphere, guys. I remember when COVID first came on the scene, there were all these questions about the humidity of hockey rinks and things like that, and does it trap does it trap it in there and make it easier to transmit? And I don't know if we've ever gotten the best answers about that, but I do know that's one thing that people worry about.
Yeah, no doubt. I want to ask you the same question I did after the Predators played the Oilers in Edmonton, because I brought up, kind of the narrative on Edmonton, and I used Toronto as the other example of teams that have been having success in the regular season. They've got these dynamic offensive weapons. They have no problems putting the puck in the back of the net, but the game hasn't translated to the playoffs. They are quick to be ousted in the playoffs, and so we talked about that Edmonton team. Predators just were in Toronto on Tuesday, were shut out by the Leafs, and so I'm going to ask you the same thing, and I'm just going to tell you on the front end, for me, I came away feeling different. I didn't feel different about Edmonton. I knew, McDavid and Draisaitl did exactly what I thought they would do, and they've done that for many years, but I didn't feel like, oh, wow, this Edmonton team looks like it's built or constructed differently, and this is all going to change in the playoffs. I will tell you, Elliot, I did feel differently about this Toronto team. You got the Marners and the Nylanders and the Matthews of the world, and we all know that. Jack Campbell looks really good. I know it's still very early on, but they're a team that's not afraid to win puck battles, block shots, hits. They look different.
They do. The tough thing for us up here, and I think it's a tough thing for them too. First of all, I think that's one of the best games they played all year. I think you guys are pretty good, and I thought they looked really good against the Predators on Tuesday night. The challenge is, and you guys didn't see them at all last year, but they won the Canadian division and they earned it. They were the best team wire to wire, and they had some really good performances, and then just completely cratered and collapsed in the playoffs. And the problem that they have is I think a lot of their fan base is in the mode of, we've seen this in the regular season before. We're going to wait until we see it when it really matters. And I think that's a tough way to play 82 games because everyone's kind of like, yeah, but, we've seen this before. And, we want to wait until, we don't want to be heartbroken again. We don't want to buy in until we know. Like, they've been really good lately, and I agree with you. I think they look really talented, but unfortunately, there's a real fear of diving into the water and just throwing your arms around them and completely believing, because the fans have been kind of hurt before. So, I mean, all you can do is win the games on your schedule, but there's going to be a feeling up here of, let's just see what happens when it really matters.
Yeah, no, look, that's more than fair. I just was impressed, that they were – their forechecking was good. That second goal in the game in the third period was just winning puck battles. I mean, that was fantastic. And they made life difficult at times for the Predators. I just felt like it had a little bit more of a blue-collar feel than an up and down the ice, freewheeling, hey, we're just all about offense, don't care about things on the back end. It just felt different to me. I understand it's one game, and certainly people in Toronto, they've seen much more of that hockey than me. And so I understand that feeling, and I get it. I'm just telling you, my takeaway from that game was, maybe this is going to be a different year for the Leafs.
Well, I'm sure that there's a lot of fans up here in Toronto that would hear you say that and go, I hope that goes from your lips to God's ears. I would tell you that. But they, I will say they've played really well recently, and I thought that game against you guys on Tuesday was one of their best games all year. I mean, you guys saw it. Saros was brilliant. That game could have been a lot more lopsided. And they were very good, but your goalie kept you in it.
What are the Predators in for on Saturday night in Montreal?
They're really struggling. Montreal, they're playing tonight against Pittsburgh, another team that's really struggling. They're down 2 goalies right now. Carey Price, obviously an all-world goalie, hasn't played this year, and we really don't have an idea of when he's going to play. Jake Allen, his backup, who had a really great year for them last year, was injured last week against Detroit, and he skated today, but I'm not sure if we're expecting him to play on Saturday. So, right now they've got their number 3 and number 4 goalies, and actually their number 4 goalie is going to play tonight against Pittsburgh. So they're really banged up. They're having a nightmare year. They're looking for a defender who can move the puck a little bit. I just think that, Price, he erases mistakes. It's like Saros when he's at his best. He erases mistakes. And, when things went bad, when Price was at his peak, you didn't bleed or feel the pain as much as you could have because he stopped them. And not only is Price gone, but as you guys know, Shea Weber's gone, Corey Perry's gone, Philip Deneau, who was their best defensive forward, is gone. A lot of the soul of that team that went to the Stanley Cup final last year is missing. And I just think they're really struggling to find their identity. And I think that's a lot of important players on your team that you have to replace. Now, I didn't expect this. I didn't think they'd be like they are this year, but they're lost at sea for a lot of this season. And I think if you're Montreal right now, you're looking at this as a write-off year, and you hope you get as high a pick as possible. They're hosting the draft this year, and then you hope you regroup a little bit for next season. But, this year has been a real nightmare for them from top to bottom.
Yeah. Something we didn't expect to see would be the Ducks after 17 games atop the Pacific Division. Obviously, I don't think anybody's going to really sign up and say, I think they're going to sustain this all year, but they've won 8 in a row. What has been working? I mean, this has kind of come out of nowhere. Nobody would have said the Ducks in the middle of November would be leading the division. Why is it going so well so far?
Well, there's been a few teams this year I've kind of looked at and said that they're a lot better than I thought they were going to be. San Jose is another one of those teams. They're a lot better than I thought. LA, I didn't know what to expect. They're a lot better than I thought. New Jersey is another team that's better than I thought. And then you've got teams like the Islanders where I'm saying, my goodness, they're worse than I thought. But, Anaheim is a perfect example. One of the things they did in the off season was they challenged their best players to be a lot better. They really felt that some of their veterans had let them down. They were at the level that they expected themselves or expected them to be at. And, one of the guys, I don't really know if he was challenged as much, but one of the guys who I think has been really kind of found a bit of a fountain of youth is Ryan Getzlaf, their captain, who just the other night became the first Ducks player to have 1,000 points. And, he looks completely rejuvenated. And I think, first of all, they have one of the best goalies in the league. And one of the things that's happened this year, guys, I really believe, is that with the Olympics looming, there's a lot of players who are really motivated by the Olympics. And the knowledge that they could play in them this year, even if it's not going to be the Olympics as we know them. And I think their goalie, John Gibson, is one of those guys. I think the opening night they played the Jets, and the Jets obviously have Connor Hellebuck, who also could be a Team USA starter. And Gibson stared him down and beat him. And people were telling me that was a big thing for Gibson. He wants to play for the U.S., and he established from the beginning that was a big goal for him. And so you have your goaltender playing great, that gets your team going. And I just think a lot of their veteran players have been better. And one of the real surprise players in the league is a guy by the name of Troy Terry. And that's a guy that they were thinking of trading this year, a young player. And he's got one of the biggest point streaks in the season. And I just think that we'll see how this goes. It's a long season. But I just think that there are players there who they expected more of. And right now, a lot of them are delivering. And, I think that's the biggest difference. I think players are playing to the level that they hoped and expected some of those guys would play at.
Talking to Elliot Friedman from 32 Thoughts, Hockey Night in Canada. And Elliot, here we are in Montreal for the boondoggle here. We're supposed to be in Ottawa. We get extra days in Montreal. We have the social coordinator, the former Canadian Hal Gill, leading the social brigade here. We're in big trouble, I can tell you. All right, I'm just hoping we make it to Saturday. But I want to ask you.
I'll tell you this: if you're gonna go, that's the way to go. I have to.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, I would say.
Montreal is you guys know how fondly we talk about Nashville as a great stop in the league. Montreal is also a top 5 stop in the league. For those of you who are listening to this who've never been, you have to go sometime just to experience it. It's such a great weekend.
Very unique spot. So, Elliot, I want to ask you, you mentioned UC Saros. He played a really good game despite the loss against Toronto, but he was kind of showcasing. I'm always interested when a guy plays in a spotlight game in a city like Toronto. He'll get another chance on Saturday, I'm sure, against Montreal. But just he continues to do it, right? There's always been doubters for him for his size, and now, hey, can he be a starter? Or, hey, now Pekarine's gone. They don't have that. But he keeps taking steps forward. I'm just curious where he stands in sort of the narrative of the big picture now, where he is moving up with his I guess, status in the league.
Well, I think you make a good point there that sometimes if you have performances on those stages, people may be noticed a bit more. It's not always right, but that's the way it is. And, I said I thought Saros got shafted in some of the voting last year. I don't agree with it. But people have respect for him. People are recognizing how good he is. And I think the other thing that happens, guys, is I think fans like underdogs. And you mentioned the thing there, the size. There are teams, I remember years ago, Vancouver, Detroit. I don't know if Ken Holland still has this rule, but he definitely had it when he was the GM in Detroit. They say if a goaltender is any shorter than 6'2", they won't even take him. And so the odds are really stacked against him, against someone like him. And I think fans like underdogs. You know, I remember years ago when I first broke into the business, I did a lot of basketball, and the first year of the Raptors, they had Oliver Miller. And if you remember Oliver Miller as a player, he was a talented guy, but he was heavy. He was a heavy guy, and he didn't look like a typical athlete. And I remember one guy telling me in the first year, he goes, my favorite player is Oliver Miller. And I said, why is that? He goes, because he looks like me. He's like overweight, but a tremendous basketball player. And I always kind of remembered that, how people identify with things like that. And I do think that there's a lot of people who look at Saros as being an outlier, maybe not being the cookie cutter goalie, and say, good for him. Like, he beat the odds. You know, what do we like? We love the stories of when and you guys had this with Patrick Hornqvist, last pick in the draft, and he's an NHLer, and a good one. I think people like those kinds of stories. And so I think people have a soft spot for Saros because the odds say that he shouldn't be where he is.
Elliot, speaking of goalies, you have some great notes that sort of build on a story that Adam Vingan had a couple of weeks ago, just the backstory of Connor Ingram. It added some great tidbits to that. If you will, share with our listeners who maybe haven't seen it. I would invite everybody to look at the 32 Thoughts blog. It's outstanding. But
I read it earlier. It's awesome.
It's out. Yeah, but he's just such an unassuming guy. But you could tell how much the team really was glad to see him have some success in the 2 starts he's had, and he looks like he's going to be an NHL goalie someday.
Well, to be honest, I didn't realize that it had come out. I did those interviews a while ago, but unfortunately, because of circumstances around the league and my own life, I wasn't able to get it done. But I still wanted to do it, and because I think it's important in this day and age that people understand that you can get help. Like, there's a lot of people out there that struggle with a lot of different things. And, the thing that I think that the most important message that Connor Ingram put out there was that his situation was unusual, and he was worried that people wouldn't understand or would laugh at him, or he wouldn't be able to get the help he needed. And he talked about, so for those of people who aren't familiar, he had an issue with OCD, where he was looking up sexually transmitted diseases all the time on the internet. And, he didn't have one. And as he said, he was in a monogamous relationship at the time, so there's no chance he had one. But for some reason, he was just fixated on it. And it led to some issues with alcohol, and he was in a really bad place about a year ago. And one day he missed the bus to practice. He went to his goalie coach, Ben Vanderklok, and he said, I need help. And immediately the Predators, Vanderklok and Poyle and Brian Poyle and his teammates got him into a position where he could get help. And he said that the thing that really meant the most to him was he could see a therapist and explain what the problem was and expect to, either, I don't know what he was expecting, to be laughed at or being told he's the only person who's like this. And the first thing the therapist did was tell him, this is what you have. And immediately it was a weight off his shoulders. And then he talked about it with another person who had something very similar. Because when we think of OCD, what do we think about? People who have to lock their doors a certain way, have certain superstitions and routines. Like, I know when I think of OCD, I think of all of that as opposed to what Connor Ingram was dealing with. So I think the thing to me, it was the best part of the story was, here he is thinking that he's really different or really unusual or, for lack of a better term, really weird, and he's not going to be able to get help, and he gets help almost immediately. And then he talks about how it allowed him to change his outlook, the way he prepared. Like, usually there's a big football game in Canada every year. It's the weekend after Labor Day. It's Winnipeg at Saskatchewan, and Ingram is from Saskatchewan. And he would always stay home until that, and then he'd go back to Nashville. Well, not this year. One of his brothers got married, and immediately he went right back to Nashville to train in July. And, I mean, you guys watch it up close. that game in Minnesota where he made his NHL debut, it was a back-to-back. They'd lost the night before. Minnesota was unbeaten. Like, there were a lot of reasons for Nashville to lose that game, and they found a way to win. He made 33 saves. And, I just think it's important for people to understand that no matter, what happens to you, or if something's bothering you and it might seem different and you might be the only one out there, like, I got to tell you, when Connor Ingram explained to me exactly what the issue was, I said, I've never heard of this before. And he was saying, I know, and that's why I worried I was alone, and I realized I wasn't alone. So it's important for people to know that there's somebody else out there who's going through exactly what you are. I really appreciated him taking the time to tell the story, because it will help someone. There's no question about that.
We're talking to Elliot Friedman, the author of 32 Thoughts, and yeah, I want to echo what Willie said, because I read it too, and it was very well done. And I'll tie it to a few months ago, I guess. Colin Wilson, former Predator, when he retired, he talked about OCD and how that was an issue for him, and then his addiction that he talked about a couple of months ago. I mean, I think that seeing these stories of these players showing that, hey, they're human and they have issues too, is gonna help other players and other people in the long run. How does the league view things? Because I know they've always had the thing in place to help players. I can remember Jordan Tutu and others entering for different addictions and things like that. But when they hear these stories, I mean, what's kind of the thought from the league?
Well, I think that I think the league generally tries to be, and the players generally try to get people help. Like, if you look at it, Montreal's had a couple of high-profile ones, Carey Price, who we talk about, and who we talked about recently, and also Jonathan Drouin, the Canadiens. He missed their Stanley Cup run last year because he needed help, and he went public with his conversations about anxiety. Now, unfortunately, we've seen some situations very recently where the help that people needed and should have gotten did not happen. And the league and the Players Association are paying a very big price for that. But generally, I think in a lot of ways, I think as society, we've come a long way in being more accepting of what's happened. Like, this could go off into a whole other conversation, guys. But you look at the growth of social media and what it does to people. You look at smartphones and how connected we are. There's a benefit in being connected, but there's also a negative in it, in that we're never unplugged. Like, I listen to you guys. I watch you guys do your work on Predators broadcast. I know how hard you guys work. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who say, I can never get away because I've always got this smartphone that keeps me connected to my work. I never feel like I can unplug. And, I think especially now, the other thing that the pandemic has done is I think it's, I think a lot of people feel even more pressure than ever. And I think a lot of people feel probably less concerned about, or they're trying to rediscover or change their priorities or move their priorities. So I just think the pressures people now between smartphones and social media and connectivity and, just what COVID has done, I just think it's a lot on a lot of people. And I think learning to manage it better is such a skill. I mean, I know I feel it myself, and I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Yeah, no doubt. Elliot, good stuff as always. Good to talk to you again, and we'll do it again next week.
All right, guys. Have yourselves a great week.
You too. Elliot Friedman, Sportsnet, the author of 32 Thoughts, joins us every Thursday at 1. And again, if you have not read that about Connor Ingram, check it out in his column this week. As we go to the break, Willie, tell us about QC Kinetics.
All right. Excuse me. Great stuff from Elliot, as always. QC Kinetics. Do you really want to go through another year with that awful joint pain? You may be out there. Darren was talking about my long time ago running exploits where I did run the marathon. That was, I think, 2002. But yeah, when you start doing things like jogging and continuing to play the sports you love to play. As you get older, you get a little joint pain. And now the folks at QC Kinetics want you to know that there are other options out there, and they want you to consider what they've got. So make a resolution right now to get yourself moving again for 2022, even if you've been frustrated. It's time to call QC Kinetics, non-surgical regenerative treatments for joint pain. We're talking lasting results using natural biologics. No surgery, no pain meds, no steroids, no downtime. Exciting stuff. Regenerative, restorative treatments. They encourage your body to heal itself. So don't let them keep giving you steroids. Don't let them keep telling you that surgery is the only option. Get that second opinion now at QC Kinetics and try to move past that hip pain, knee pain, shoulder pain that could be bothering you right now. Imagine life in 22 feeling a lot better and being able to do the things you want to do. Call them right now. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. Free consultation. QC Kinetics, 615-249-4024. That's 615-249-4024.
That's the way to win. Took everybody, we found a way to win. Let's go. Titans on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Red Hot Titans sit atop the AFC with an 8-2 record.
It is pretty incredible that they just continue to find ways to win.
Your home of the best Titans coverage.
This is how the Titans are going to have to win games.
Is Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Jeremiah was a bullfrog.
Get ready for 3 Dog Night. Live in concert November 24th at Ryman Auditorium, celebrating over 50 years of 3 Dog Night. See the band that had 21 consecutive top 40 hits. Sing along to all the hits you know and love. Tickets are on sale now at Ryman.com. Sponsored by PNC Bank, proud partner of Ryman Auditorium.
Your chance to get that rare, hard-to-find luxury timepiece is here at Genesis Diamonds. This weekend at Genesis, we're hosting the largest luxury pre-owned Rolex event ever held in Tennessee, just in time for the holidays. Genesis has found and purchased a spectacular selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, all the hottest models that people wait years for, and we're showcasing them all this weekend. Hulks, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans, rare luxury timepieces you can't find anywhere else. It's this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Come early. Get the first pick and get 60 months financing. How about a luxury pre-owned two-tone Submariner for only $299 a month, or a ladies 36mm date just for only $199 a month. Also for this event, our pre-owned Rolex buyers are on site, offering top dollar for your luxury pre-owned Rolex. Come see the largest selection of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in Tennessee and take advantage of special financing this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, and only at Genesis Diamonds, your new home for luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
This is Stan Harrison, CEO of Apple Collision Centers. We understand that no one likes to deal with auto body repair and the inconvenience it becomes in your day-to-day life. I want to personally invite you to stop by and let our experienced staff see how we can help you make your vehicle look good as new. Apple Collision Center has 3 convenient locations: Old Hickory, Hendersonville, and Gallatin, ready to serve you. Come by and see us or visit us online at applecollisioncenters.com.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. So a friend told me about Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, and his exact words were, "It changed my life."
I used to spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to remove tomato sauce from inside our microwave and soap scum off the bathtub.
It's like seriously magic, and my secret weapon for cleaning the kitchen, bathroom, doors, and walls, and even keeping my sneakers clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
Greatest invention ever.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the unicorn of cleaning.
Sunday afternoon.
Connor all the way in for the touchdown. Catch is made by Metcalf. Touchdown.
NFC West rivals renew acquaintances when the Arizona Cardinals face off with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Coverage begins at 3
on ESPN
94.9.
Hey Nashville, this is Paul Feinbaum, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Good stuff from Elliot Freeman as always. Don't forget, pregame show, Rock Bottom Brewery on Broadway this Sunday, 9:30 to 11:30 in the morning. It's where you can go listen to Chase filling in as the host,
Yes.
Mark Howard, and forever Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders. Remember, he's a great guy. Go up and talk to him, but just don't ask him for any picks. If you listen today, you just know. Don't ask him for picks. But he's a great guy. If you're going to go to the game, that's a great place to go hang before you head over to Nissan Stadium. The NFL pregame show is brought to you by TriStar Moving, Parman Tractor and Equipment, FreedomTireGuys.com, FanDuel, E2 Roofing, Hillside Medical, Social Furniture, and Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. Back here on Darren Donick and Chase. A.J. Brown had a chance to speak with the media today as the Titans are preparing for their game against the Texans, trying to move to 9-2 on the season. Here's what star wide receiver A.J. Brown had to say.
I'm sure everyone have saw the video I posted on Friday. To be honest, I posted the video. That was a dark time in my life. Didn't nobody really know. But I posted it because I wanted to encourage others to seek help whenever they're down. I didn't know, really didn't take in consideration what depression really was. I always just brushed it off. That's how I grew up. I just brushed off my feelings, and it got the best of me, you know. And I just wanted to put out a positive message that I'm still here. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm blessed. I got a lot of things to be grateful for, and someone was there for me. So reach out to your loved ones and ask them how they're doing, and listen to them, you know, because it's important, you know. So yeah.
Widely positive. Were you pleased by that?
Yeah. A lot of guys reached out to me, told me what I did was powerful. A lot of guys on my team sat down, talked to me one-on-one about their struggles, which we need to do more often. You know, we need to look out for one another. You know, I know we play this beautiful game, but you know, life is beautiful too. So.
DJ, first of all, thanks for putting out that message. Second of all, sorry.
It's okay.
Just what made you kind of come out and want to talk about that? I'm so sorry.
You're fine. It's okay. Like I said, it was a dark moment, and it was a year ago where I had thought about, you know, taking my life, you know. And it was special to me because it just came with my heart that I wanted to share with others and help others as much as I can. Like I said, I'm here. I'm so much to be grateful for. I'm blessed. I know I wake up every day and get to play the game that I love, but you know, I have loved ones around me that love me dearly, you know, and I just wanted to help someone. Hopefully I could save a life or anything. So.
Too personal. Understand if it's too personal, but what prompted you to feel that way?
I won't get into all that. You know, that's between me. Yeah.
The person, AJ, that you talked about was there for you. Was it a teammate? Was it a family member? Maybe who helped you get through it?
It was Elijah Moore. Yeah, it was Elijah Moore. He's more than family. He's more than family. I love him like he's my brother. He is my brother, but he's a special person, and I appreciate him each and every day.
How important is it for somebody in your position, like you said, to come out and speak out about it? Because a lot of people from the outside will say, you know, you're an NFL football player,
Exactly.
You're a Pro Bowler, you make a lot of money,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you have a lot of notoriety. What could you possibly be down about, right?
Yeah, life happens to everyone. You know, I'm human, just like everyone else. Just because I play this beautiful game, just doesn't mean life is not gonna happen to me too. So, like, I'm grateful for the person that was there for me, and I just wanted to encourage everyone to seek help if you're down and you're depressed, and just try to get help.
Good example, AJ, though, of like John was saying, you on the outside, you know, everything looks like it's great for AJ, but people just don't know, right, what's going on inside somebody. Yeah, most definitely, man. I know for me, walking around with a smile, that's easy to put on. Everybody can do it, you know. But you know, when we go on, some of us have real life problems, you know. So it's just how you deal with those things, and that's why I said just talk to someone, reach out. You know,
us as men, to be honest, our feelings aren't too much cared about, So, especially men, just, get things off your chest, It's okay to talk to someone, seek help. You're not too tough to talk to someone, so.
To have a coach like Mike Rabel who makes those emotional deposits with you guys, and is open to conversation and to things like this.
It means a lot. It means a lot. I appreciate Coach Berry just for everything. I just try not to. Sometimes I know this is a business, and sometimes you don't want to get emotionally attached or tied with someone, because it's a business side of it. But man, I appreciate him so much, and people like that. I think no matter however this business may go, I think forever I'll be a friend of his and he'll be a friend of mine. But I appreciate him so much for just opening this door, just listening, trying to help me as much as I can. It doesn't go unnoticed with me. So he's definitely family in my book, regardless of we ever part ways down the line. I hope not, but but I appreciate him so much.
Front that darkness from time to time, or you've been pretty good for the last year?
No, I'm in a better place mentally. That's behind me. That's behind me now. I know how to deal with certain things if something comes up in my life now. Like I said, growing up, I just kind of brushed off my feelings and, I buried them. And, you don't need to do that. You need to get things off your chest and talk to someone,
AJ, you had mentioned Elijah Moore was the one who had kind of helped you in that particularly dark moment. I guess what has kind of made you guys so close beyond the fact that you guys were teammates at Ole Miss? Why is he kind of like more than like a brother to you?
I live with him. He's seen my struggles. I've seen his struggles. I know what he want to accomplish. He knows what I want to accomplish, in life, period. This is not just football talk, this life talk, so just being around him so much, you start to a point where I feel like I kind of raised him in a point, in college, I seen him grow, seen him do all the things he want to do, and just being there for one another, so.
Did you maybe think about posting that video, and maybe what was that kind of got you to the point to be maybe brave enough to do it?
I thought long and hard about posting the video. It was on my phone for a while. I actually recorded the video earlier that day, but I didn't post it until later that night. So it was an all-day process, and I was kind of nervous to post it, but some gave me the courage, some came over me to just do it. So.
I know you've been very open about your relationship with your little girl on social media and how much she's meant to you.
Mm-hmm.
How much has she been in your life? How much does she kind of push you to kind of keep going and to be strong for her?
My little girl, man, she's amazing. It's the reason why I'm still going today. I don't even have the words for it. I don't know. She gives me strength. She is who I play for. Without my little girl, I don't know where I'd be.
So was it a year exactly? I'm trying to remember to the date that that you had thought about, as you said, you had contemplated, taking your life. Was that?
Yes, it was November 12th.
Okay. Did you? And again, whatever's private is private. But I mean, did you feel like you were right there on the edge, or?
I won't get too much into detail about it, but it was heavy on my heart. So
You touched on it a little bit, but how important is it, your message and coming out, to try and fight that negative stigma that surrounds mental health?
Right. I just wanted to come out and just try to just put that to rest. Mental health is real, just like physical health. You take care of your body when you're sick. Just like when something's going on with you, you need to get stuff off your chest. You need to talk to someone, seek professional help if need so. But you got to take care of your brain just like you take care of your body too. So find ways to a safe place for you. Do the things you love. So enjoy every moment.
couple
AJ,
months.
in addition to Elijah, did you talk to a professional to get further help?
Yes, I did. I did out there. I still do to this day. So.
How much of football-wise, how much of what's gone on for you the last 2 weeks was about the Ramsey and the Lattimore matchups, do you think?
What about it in that manner?
Your production.
You know, I try to control what I can control. You know, I can't throw myself the ball or anything like that. Whatever I can do is I could just get open. You know, and if I have to clear it out for someone else, like Marcus had a big day this past Sunday, I'll do it again. You know, so it's all about trying to get to 9-2. You know, 1 week at a time. That's the only thing I care about. You know, that's the production, winning. So.
Have you seen differences in defense the last couple of weeks? You know, with Derek being out, AJ, have you seen that much more?
Not these 2 past weeks, because they had Jalen Ramsey and Lattimore. You know, those guys matched up on me. So, but you definitely know I get a lot more eyes and point me out and things I may possibly run while I'm lining up. So.
There you go, Titans wide receiver A.J. Brown. I saw this on Twitter when we were talking earlier today. This was done in the last hour, so I kind of knew the theme. We talked about Connor Ingram with Elliott Freeman. I kind of knew this. I wanted to hear it, and we could discuss on the other side. A.J. Brown really opening up. Of course, he put out a video on social media, but as you can tell in his presser today, that was pretty much the theme on the video that he put out. So we can discuss on the other side to close out Thursday's edition of Darren, Donick, and Chase. But first, Willie, you're going to tell everybody about Loan Pronto.
Yeah, very heavy stuff and great awareness that I think AJ is creating there. And as you said it, Darren, well, piggybacking off of Connor Ingram's story, right? The theme is whatever you're struggling with, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to think, I could show that I could reach out to somebody and there are people there that can help you professionally, with your friends, just touching stuff. I mean, just emotional stuff from A.J. Brown. That was great to hear, and his willingness to share that with the public. That's going to help somebody down the road. Now, Loan Pronto, they can help people as well. This is the year end from the financial angle of things. We know that home values are skyrocketing back in our listening area. That means right now is the best time to get the cash out for your home's equity, if that's what you need right now, because it can work to your advantage. They can fast track your home refi and get you a check for 50, 60, 70 grand or more. So you can get that holiday expense docket ready to go. Consolidate other loans, pay off credit cards, reinvest in your home if that's what you want with a new kitchen or bathroom. Home value is up. You can get a new mortgage rate from Loan Pronto with an APR in the 2s. So now's the time to access that equity while rates are still really low. Loan Pronto's refi can close in 2 weeks. The process is easy, so you can get it done before the holidays, and then you'll be set for 2022. So call Loan Pronto now. Put that equity in your home to work towards financial freedom. It's your money. Do it now, and you could even skip your next 2 house payments. How exciting does that sound for your holiday budget? Call 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780, or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. Not all loans apply.
Saturday night.
He goes across, and what a stop is made there by Saros on Kane.
The Nashville Predators conclude their Eastern Conference road trip, taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Pre-game at 5, face-off at 6 on Nashville's best sports talk,
ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
From the Fox 17 News Code Red Weather Center.
I'm Fox 17 News Code Red meteorologist Dan Guthrie. Looking at clearing skies this afternoon, temperatures topping out in the upper 40s and lower 50s. This will leave us, though, with perfect viewing conditions for tonight's partial lunar eclipse.
This weather report brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
Hey, it's Jared Stillman. Guys, are you tired of feeling old?
You know that feeling. You don't have any energy. You're gaining pounds. Well, guess what? My friends at Invigorate Health are the ones to help you. They don't just focus on one area of the aging body. They take care of all of it with so many different therapies that can restore your vitality and are designed with you specifically in mind. So give them a try. Invigorate Health, if you want to feel young again. Out in Mount Juliet at 615-288-4777 or invigoratehealthtn.com.
From city streets to back roads, from road warrior to carpooler, there are some things you can always count on, like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Coach Lee, he was a father figure and like a best friend.
Let's have some fun. 1, 2, 3, hell.
Now streaming.
My pop, he's got cancer.
Exclusively on Paramount Plus.
We had to have guys rise to the occasion.
The Emmy-nominated series Texas 6 returns.
This is our moment. You play football, you don't just play for you. You play for everybody in this town. This is our moment.
I'm going to dedicate my season to my dad.
Texas 6. All episodes now streaming only on Paramount Plus.
During the season of giving, you might give away more than you want.
Sweater for Mom, video game for Jake, and my credit card for someone named Gina?
More online activity can mean more exposed personal info, but LifeLock by Norton has identity theft protection all wrapped up. And if you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com today.
Robbie Stanley.
Coming in off the water, coming in there to tailgate.
Joe Rexrode.
That was fun.
Get your morning started with Robbie and Rexrode every weekday from 6 to 10. Presented by Volunteer State Bank on Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Interact with Darren, Donick, and Chase. Call or text the show at 615-737-1025. Driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
Hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back no
Couple
more,
of
no
items to pass along. Our Sunday NFL game of the week here on these airwaves will be Dallas at Kansas City. Cowboys and Chiefs. That'll be a good one. 3:25 kickoff. And that's brought to you by Red Spirits and Wine in Bellevue. Also, don't forget, Nashville SC. Their first-round matchup will be at Nissan Stadium on Tuesday. Nashville's going to be the 3 seed. They're going to take on the 6 seed, Orlando City SC. And, of course, that'll be aired on 94.9. The pregame will start at 6:45. The match begins at 7. Back here on Darren, Donick, and Chase, you just heard A.J. Brown talking to the media today, and most of that was all about the video that he posted about his mental health. And it was pretty interesting how you knew that's where the theme was going to go before we kind of get hot and heavy into this before we get out of here. I know Dave wants to weigh in, who's on our phone line from WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Dave, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my calls, guys. You know, I want to say it's great that AJ comes out, you know, and tells us about it, because everybody goes through stress-related issues. And, you know, they tell us when we're growing up that we're not given so much that we can handle, but, you know, sometimes we wonder. And I tell him that we're all praying for him and that we love him and that God loves him too. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call.
Great call.
And, you know, I think it's just really, you know, didn't know this was going to be kind of the theme this hour, but it turned into that, and I'm happy for it and glad that we're able to work in some kind of Connor Ingram on the hockey side and now A.J. Brown on the football side of things, because, you know, especially when you think about professional athletes, I thought that was interesting that A.J. Brown, you know, the question is, yeah, and that is true, that there's a real stigma of, well, you're rich, you're famous, and, you know, you're this big, bad professional athlete. And so I think we've tried to do a really good job over the years on this show, and I'm proud of that, because I don't think there's a lot of shows around the country, forget this market, that have tried to paint the picture like we have, that these are human beings. And I think that gets lost with fans. They're not robots. They are human beings. And yes, in the case of football, they do play a rough and tumble sport. I mean, you have to be wired a little bit differently to get out there and do what they do on Sundays. It is not for the faint of heart. But that doesn't mean you're invincible. It doesn't mean that you're a superhero or a Marvel figure. I'll work that in there for Chase and Elijah. It means that you're still a human being, that you just happen to play a really, really physical sport. Your job requires you, to be physical and to be tough. But that doesn't mean when that 3 hours is up on Sundays or whenever you play, Thursday night, like in the case tonight, that that's the way you are. And I think it's a tough balance. I mean, look, we've talked about all these players that have gotten in trouble off the field because they have a hard time, right, with the translation of leaving the field behind, right, and it gets them in trouble, whether it's a bar fight or with a significant other. I mean, former Vanderbilt running back I don't know if people have seen. I mean, there's a really, really, really bad video on Zach Stacy out there that you can find, and it's not good. It is a really, really bad look, really bad look. And it's not easy to balance that, right? You're asked to be, this certain person, whether, it's in hockey, which is also a physical sport, especially if you have a role of dropping the mitts, or in football of being this tough person and then dropping all of that and being completely different off the field. And it's not easy. Most are very successful at balancing that. Some just are not. And I think for a guy just going into year 3 of his career to come out and say that and say this has, been a problem, that this is, it sounds like to me this was something that him and Elijah Moore talked about at Ole Miss, right? That they both maybe dealt with a little bit of this. Did I take that from the presser? So, I say good for A.J. Brown.
I just love that he was willing to go public with it because I think he knows that he can help other people. Like he said today, I was glad to hear him say he feels like he's in a good place now. And I also liked that he said, yeah, I'm still seeing a specialist. I'm still seeing somebody that helps me to this day.
Yes.
A professional. Because I think that used to have a stigma.
Yep.
Right? As, you have to see somebody, but now this is such a positive thing. And I think when you hear A.J. Brown say that up front, that is going to encourage others who can really benefit from this to go seek that, get that help that you're looking for. So that's great leadership. And I here's the other thing that is a theme. There is a very real connection between the players for the Titans and Mike Vrabel. It's not just your basic coach-player thing. I think that's something that has really become evident about Mike Vrabel, right? Is he has a bond with his players, and that helps here.
Willie, I don't think there's any way around that. I think you're spot on, and all the success that we've talked about with Mike Vrabel. Yes, he's got to be a good coach and understand the game, which clearly he does. But it seems he also has a pretty clear, picture on how to, interact with people, whether it's his coaching staff or his players in this case. And that was kind of letting us in behind the curtain right there, right? I mean,
yep.
That was a player saying, I will run through the wall for that guy.
And I think the more times that you hear a player or coach or whatever get real like that, the more good it's going to do. And I applaud AJ for saying that. No shame in it at all. He's human too.
Good show today, guys. Casey Alexander, where's that drop, Elijah? Do we have that ready? It should be ready at all times. Just telling you, moving forward. We got to have that. Like today's a prime example. Really good show. We'll try to do it again tomorrow to wrap up the week. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Continue to be safe. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. We'll see you then.
The voice of reason.
No, you blew it. That's what happened. It didn't slip away. You blew it.
The voice of the fan.
The officials had let that game get out of control before anything got thrown.
The voice of Nashville sports is your home of Nashville's best sports talk.
ESPN.
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Calling all sweet tooths. Head to Nashville Toffee Company, a place where rich, chocolatey daydreams are created from a secret family recipe generations in the making. Their toffees and candies are handcrafted in Nashville using all natural, kosher-certified ingredients. Sweet creamery butter, pure cane sugar, premium roasted nuts, deep rich chocolate, and sea salt. Visit NashvilleToffeeCompany.com or drop by their